So I guess I'll start just like this. We are officially rolling. I'm going to say thanks, first of all, for coming out. You're basically the second episode in the new iteration of a podcast that I'm doing here, and basically it's just centering around people who I find interesting, or maybe have had interesting life paths, career paths, maybe all of the above. Something that struck me with you right away when I walked into my son's travel baseball, his first year with a new organization out in Shorewood here, the Illinois Dynasty. Like, oh yeah, we'll have a bunch of instructors and coaches and things coming periodically to help them out. You're in the cages at the yard at their smaller facility. And the one day I see you in there and you're helping the kids get tees and stuff ready. And they're like, oh, I don't think you told us. I think maybe somebody from Dynasty had mentioned, oh yeah, he's in the minor league system. I'm like, you play for the Slammers or something? Or like, you're obviously a young kid. And I was like, oh. Once I figured it out, we talked, we met each other a little bit, worked with the kids together. Yeah. Found out that you were part of the Diamondbacks affiliate organization. I think, were you at AA at the time or single?
High A.
You were at high A?
Yeah, so
that was in Oregon.
A-ball.
Was that Oregon?
Yeah. Oregon.
Okay. So yeah, immediately. I'm such a whore for like athletes, because I think about it, like the amount of time and that's spent to get to that point. So I had run into you just randomly the other day at Jameson's. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I've been talking about doing this podcast thing. I'm like, who could be more interesting than somebody who had to go through, rookie ball, A ball, AA. Yeah. You were in AAA for some point this year, right?
Yeah.
Holy
most
shit.
this year.
That'd feel crazy. Like that's basically the show. So I'll stop stalling and introduce you. I don't want to say friend, right? Like we met each other through you helping train my son in baseball, basically last year, and we kind of got to know each other barely.
Yeah.
And then again recently, just running into you. Hopefully one day we can say friends, but today we're going to be across the table. I just thought, like, what a cool story that could probably unfold from talking to somebody who's gone through that system, and a sport that I love, my kid loves, So I thank you, first of all, for coming out. Brett Johnson.
Yeah,
Brett Johnson,
absolutely.
everybody.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Oh,
absolutely.
Dude. Like throughout the year, this year, because you were mostly with us for winter training last year. So November basically through February.
Yep.
I remember at one point talking to you in the cages while the kids were hitting off the tee, and I asked you, like, when are you starting? When are you getting it back into your routine? And you're like, dude, I don't pick up a bat until whatever. I don't know what you say, like February or something.
I think last year was a little bit after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, what do? You got to take a break.
It's a long time. I learned that kind of after my first year.
Grind.
I kind of got right back into it. I gave myself like 2 weeks off, and then I was like, all right, I want to keep going. Get right back into it, and it's a long season. That you don't realize.
Well, and that progressively builds too, right? Over the time of Little League and moving through travel baseball, and then moving into high school baseball, and then college, and then obviously if you're lucky enough to get to college with the pros, it's like that season gets longer and longer and longer and longer. Times have changed, right? Travel baseball, kids are playing so many more games now. Kids are specialized in baseball.
Yeah.
These kids that used to play baseball, basketball, football, all your different sports all year round. It's like now they're just playing baseball.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different perspectives on that.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I was a 3-sport athlete. Even 4, I played some volleyball too in middle school.
Volleyball's a badass sport. People don't give volleyball enough credit.
I had a
men's
blast.
volleyball.
I had an absolute blast. Yeah. But yeah, 3 sports. Baseball, basketball, football, loved all of them. High school is when I kind of went over just baseball and football.
That's a long time of doing other things and kind of like, it's like those muscles that, you play baseball. There's a set of muscles. Sure, you get your whole body involved, but like there's a set of muscles specialized there. And then you go play basketball, football, volleyball. It's like, holy shit, I'm sore in places I forgot about.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great thing to have kids playing all different sports. I know my hitting coach I worked with actually this past offseason is like, if I were to ever coach a team of young kids, I'd make it mandatory for them to play another sport during the offseason.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard that perspective from some people, but sometimes you would think, guys that are deep in baseball, maybe that's better for them if the kid is focused on baseball only. But I'd imagine, I don't know. I'd love to hear some more people's perspective on that. Because in my head, I totally agree with what he was saying. You
Yeah.
know, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keeps you rounded.
Yeah, I mean, get them out there. Like you said, different muscle groups. Like, let them learn how to use their body.
Right. Well, that's it, right? How much of baseball is body control?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the balance,
Yeah.
the weight shifting, and how many times did I say the word "stay back, stay back, stay back" to a 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid? It's like, keep your weight back, keep your weight back.
That's like half the weightlifting is almost kind of just like mobility work, not even really lifting weights, just getting your body to move in certain ways.
Wall sits.
I haven't done those in a while.
No, you stayed away from those.
It's a lot of like hip mobility stuff, like stretching, all that type of stuff, just to get your body moving and loose and all that other stuff.
Yeah, how do you the warm up, like, because baseball is one of those sports, right? Like, you'll see an argument from people. I don't agree with it, but you're like, oh, they're not that big of athletes, you know, or like you get the big bellied pitcher or something that dominates, you know, your old like David Wells looking old school, you know, but that's totally not the case, obviously. But like the routine that goes into baseball is like its own muscle, right? I mean, that kind of, what time do I get to the field? When's my time for cage work? When's my stretching? When am I taking ground balls if you're an infield or fly balls? You know, like there's so much that goes into that day. And obviously we talked about the schedule and the time, like how many days, like you're playing damn near every day, especially at certain levels. But even as a kid, you know, weekend tournaments, you might play 8 games in like 4 days or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's bananas, but it's a whole different muscle, right? I need to have my routine. I need to have my mind right. Yeah. I mean, how much of baseball to you is like mental?
Oh my gosh, 85, 90% of it's mental. I mean, we have mental skills coaches when I was with the Diamondbacks, and it's a lot of mental. There was a number of guys that went into their office and just kind of had like a mental minute or like moment of silence, just kind of get their heads right to go out there and be ready to get on the field.
So how did they kind of sell that to you when you walk into the program new, right? Whatever they draft you know, whatever, you're a free agent and they bring you on, they think you can make it in their system. So like, when do they introduce you to kind of these, you know, obviously they want you to get you with the hitting coach and the pitching, whatever it is, but like, hey, we also have this part to prepare you. Yeah.
So I mean, when I got drafted, we kind of went in, like all of the new draft guys went in it together, kind of just showed us around the facility at first, kind of introduced us to all the different coaches that were there, all the different departments, like a lot of video guys, like mental skills. We had chefs there, all the different coaches, all that stuff. So we're kind of going through it all, and they kind of made an emphasis on it for us to get to know them, because we're going to be working a lot with them. And then throughout the season, they travel to all the affiliates as well.
No shit. So it's like they're the Diamondbacks, but they spread those same people to all the different levels of ball.
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't have like, here's the single A team has this set, and then the double A team has this set of doctors or specialists.
Well, for like coaches and stuff, they do, but then there's like coordinators and like the mental skills people, and all those guys will kind of like go for a week to one affiliate, go back to the complex in Arizona, then another week they'll go to double A or triple A or wherever it may be, and they all kind of just spend a week there, you know, work with all the different guys that are there, and kind of just talk to the people, you know, check in on them, you know, see how the season's going, see how their head is, because I mean, it's a slippery slope. Baseball is. I mean, you can have one good week, feel like you're on top of the world, and the next week you're 0 for 5 to start the week, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't even think I belong here anymore.
How many days did you feel like that? Like, God, I fucking suck. Like, why am I here?
Oh my gosh. I mean, too many to count, honestly. Too many to count.
And I imagine you're not alone. I imagine your teammates and you guys are constantly just like, how bad am I? Like,
oh yeah. And it's funny, during the season, like there'll be balls people hit or games they have, and they're like, man, what am I even doing on this baseball field right now?
Like, you can bring anybody, literally anybody, and be better than me right now.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, it speaks to like keeping your mind right, keeping the mental strong. I mean, we were talking a little bit before we started recording about like baseball and podcasts, and we're just kind of giving you a rundown. I was talking about the Compound podcast, which is Ian Happ and Zach Short, but they constantly talk about that. You know, I expect that confidence, that attitude of like a professional baseball player But when you get them talking for an hour, hour and a half on microphones together, the amount of like self-deprecation and like I'm terrible. Like, oh, you should see the swing that I had the other day. Total sword, like
Yeah.
the guy threw me a change up, punched my ticket, like the kind of stuff they talk about is like something that we're not used to hearing from professional athletes.
Yeah, I mean, that's in locker rooms after the games. If someone had a rough game, they're like, dude, what was I even doing on that field? Or we get like our videos of our bats, and they'll be like, dude, look at this swing I took. Like, just a pitch 3 balls off or something. They're like, I don't know what I was seeing. I thought the thing was down the middle. And it's just funny because we all have that moments too. I mean, all through your career, you're gonna have those moments too.
Yeah,
T-ball.
And we talked about like that. It probably is the hardest thing in sports, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was your thought on it. Like,
I mean, a round bat, a round ball,
the baseball.
Yeah,
squaring it up.
Yeah,
like different. It's a whole nother level there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like I said earlier, it's you do everything perfect and you still hit a ball right at somebody or doesn't fall, and it's just a wild game.
And then you just like dribbler.
Yeah,
you find a base hit out of.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, we'll take that, rewind it back, right? We'll try to get how did we get here, right? We kind of started almost at the end in a way, but I mean, it takes so much, and that's always like the fascinating thing about an athlete that gets to even high school level or college, doesn't matter what division. Like, what kind of like, I don't know, activity and just upbringing, like what is the story that leads you to a minor league career in professional baseball? Like you grew up in the area then?
Yeah, in Shorewood.
For anybody, for some reason you're listening to this and you're nowhere near Illinois, everything's based out of the Chicagoland area and the suburbs, and that's how Brett and I met. So you had a connection to the area, because definitely when they were like, he plays for the Diamondbacks organization, I was kind of like, the hell's he doing here? I hope he grew up here. He's just home.
Yeah.
Like what did Dynasty do to come bring this guy in to help my kid hit?
Yeah, so it's actually, I went to West, and Karch was my head coach there.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's kind of how that connection is.
Yeah, dude, I was in Joliet West grad myself, actually.
Go Tigers.
All right. Well, yeah. When I was there though, it was like the Steelman, and it was it was combined. There was a weird, I don't remember how long, 10-year period or something, where West and Central, all the sports team were combined. Everybody was just Joliet Steelman. Yeah, I missed out on the Tiger days. My brother is a little bit older than me, so he got some of the Tiger days, and then it hit Steelman by the time I was in high school. I'm glad that that's all separate now, and you got enough folks to do it all. I mean, good athletes come through there, and Karch obviously if you want to give a little background of Karch and what he means to your story.
Oh yeah, so I actually knew Karch before I went to West. I played for Troy baseball back, the Troy Titans, and his oldest son, I think, is a year or two younger than me. So saw him around those fields all the time. But my baseball career for high school, I started at JCA actually for first 2.5 years.
Oh shit! So you graduated from West though, but you started high school from Joliet Catholic.
Yeah, but yeah, Karch. I mean, I love that guy.
Yeah,
he's really. I mean, when I was there, kind of a lot of mixed opinions. But I mean, since then, I think he did a really good job of turning that program around. I mean, I think my senior year we had 8 wins, maybe. We were not very good.
No shit.
But I think
struggling.
And I think I was maybe one of 2 or 3 guys from my year that ended up playing college baseball. So that's kind of half of what had to do with.
Do you remember, like, in through Little League, like when your first year of like travel baseball was? How old were you?
I think for travel, I was maybe 12.
Okay.
Is when that started.
I just had my first pilot episode, and Nate. Nate and I coached the Dynasty team together. Our kids are the same age. They've been playing together since they were like 8. And it was just kind of a thing that we're talking about, because obviously we're in our 40s. Nate a little bit older than me, but there wasn't programs.
Right.
It wasn't like prevalent travel baseball like it is now. And like my nephews, for example, 7U, 8U, 9U, 10. Like my son didn't start till he was 10 in travel. He played rec league at Whiteford. I grew up in St. Joe's. He played at St. Joe's. Did you start locally then too?
Yeah.
Like
5 years old is when I started playing baseball. I think
T-ball.
first year was at Whiteford. Then after that, I went over to Troy.
Okay.
And then I was at Troy till I was 14.
So that was your first travel experience with the Troy Titans then at 12 or so?
Yeah, 12.
Okay.
Yeah, around then. It was all in-house before that.
Yeah,
I think it was more like the all-star team then.
Yeah, then you just traveling
And
at
then,
the end of the
we kind of
season,
started
basically.
traveling, yeah. But yeah, I really only kind of remember like our trips, really. Like I went to Cooperstown, we went out to Myrtle Beach, and I think that was...
Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Kenny Powers out there.
Cal
like
Ripken
that.
experience.
Yeah,
that was a
you
great
go.
time. But yeah, I think that was all like the 12 to 14 U range.
Mm.
But yeah, it's so weird because now, like your kids, it's all like...
Yep.
It's what, AA and AAA or something like that?
Oh, yeah, there's like AA and AAA. Like my nephew plays for Rhino. He's going to play for GoPro, I think, this year. So, but his team was a AAA, quote unquote. He's younger than even my son is, but you see the difference. That's for sure. I mean, we played our team for Dynasty. We played in the AA side of things, and we didn't have business with some of those teams. Being on the field with them. We went into it kind of first time taking on our own team like that, in like a real year-round travel ball type situation, and like kind of a rude awakening. Like I think the kids learned a lot and they had fun, and the facilities at like Dynasty were great using JJC. Like Joliet Junior College has an awesome indoor facility for the off-season program. Their coaches were awesome, like helping out. Coach King, damn field's named after him. They've had a lot of success in the JUCO circuit of baseball, so it was a really cool experience. And there's some great facilities around this area and teams and things that your kids can join. But it's a whole nother world when you get thrown in these tournaments when some of these teams they're like next level.
Yeah.
That's what these kids do. They're playing baseball all year round.
Yeah, and it's crazy because all these different organizations too. Like I remember when I was playing Troy, St. Joe's, there was like the Plainfield Tornadoes.
You're just trying to find the all-star team to play against.
Yeah.
In the area or wherever, a tournament somewhere.
Yeah, now there's Dynasty, there's that Rhino facility right over here.
Yeah,
Sparks
GoPro now.
GoPro.
Sparks.
It's crazy.
It's like 100 Sparks teams now.
Yeah.
It's great. It's wild.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like you had like a black and gold team.
Yeah.
And no one really knew which one was the better team of which.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those are the days.
Yeah.
So then did you kind of fell in love with baseball, obviously, but you said you loved all the sports you were playing at that age, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And was there a moment for you where you're like, I think I'm a baseball guy at this point?
I think that was more towards high school. I mean, before that, I kind of loved them all. Honestly, beginning of high school, I think I maybe even loved football a little bit more.
Yeah.
Until I ended up getting injured, and we
so
go to that.
You played at Joliet Catholic then, when you were a freshman?
Year.
Okay.
Yeah, freshman year was my last year of football.
What a football program they're running.
Oh, man, yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Football started for me fourth or fifth grade. Tackle football started with the Shorewood Spartans, which I don't even know if that's...
I didn't even know that. I remember the Joliet Raiders when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I never played for them. Now it's Tri-City Wolverines, I think. Most of the kids are on.
Yeah, I don't even think the Spartans are a thing anymore.
Probably not.
So after that, I think I did a year of flag football with my middle school. That was all right.
Yeah.
And then went back to tackle and did tackle up till 7th grade. Took 8th grade year off, then played my freshman year. But it's kind of wild because I was a very small kid growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I went to high school like 5 foot.
Oh, dang.
So playing football, it's kind of weird because I was so small that I was almost playing with the age below me because it was all by weight back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I was like 7th grade playing with like a whole bunch of 6th graders. And I was... I looked probably like Christian McCaffrey out there. I mean, I was running over kids and kind of unfair almost. But, I mean, my love for the sport then was unmatched. I mean, I think I kind of had a dream of going to Oregon to play football.
You were like, I want those uniforms. I'm going to be a Duck.
Exactly. That's what drew me to them,
Did
too,
you have
is all the different
the
uniforms.
Nike backing, all that, man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What could be cooler than that?
Yeah. But, so yeah, then my freshman year, football, the last game of the year, I made a tackle, tweaked my back.
Would you play? Are you like a DB?
Yeah, safety.
Oh, okay.
Safety and running back.
Free safety?
running
You're
back,
just
not so
fucking
much.
laying the
more
lumber
safety.
on people?
Oh yeah,
Laying the lumber
little
on people.
5 foot me out there,
Just fucking jacking
laying
people.
some wood.
Love that.
But yeah, so the last game of the year, I made a tackle, hurt my back. A couple days later was fine. So, and then a couple months passed by. I'm out just hitting BP with my little brother and my cousin, kind of like a home run derby, so you can hit as many home runs as they can.
Well, you just local field around here or something?
I went out to Troy.
Out to Troy.
And so halfway through this, I'm like, dude, my back, like something is not right. Something is not right.
Little tweak.
Boy. And I come home, I tell my dad, he's like, all right, 2 weeks if it's still bothering you, then we'll go check it out to the doctor. So I'm going through practices, and finally there's one practice we're running, and I stop mid-run, and I start crying because my back, and I'm in so much pain. He's like, all right, we'll go to the doctor now. Go get x-rays, MRIs. I had a hairline fracture my L5 lumbar.
No shit.
So 8-9 months I was wearing a back brace.
Well, that's got to be cool for a high school kid.
Yeah.
Check out my sick back brace.
Homecoming, had the whole back brace on. In class, I was sitting straight up like this because I had no other choice.
Kid's posture was insane.
Yeah, but I missed fall ball that year. And after that, I was kind of like, all right, I think I'm ready to start focusing on baseball more because I think I could possibly, take this somewhere, like go to college.
Concentrate. On
concentrate.
Something.
I mean, at that point, obviously playing like professional ball was still just a dream. I didn't really think it was possible.
So like 14, 15 years
Yeah.
old, it's like, did you really formulate that? Like, oh, this could happen for me. Like, that probably comes later.
Yeah, that was probably a little bit later. I mean, my freshman year, I wasn't even a starter for my high school team until maybe halfway through.
Do you remember growing up, like, did they put you all over the place, or were you like, oh, I was always infielder, I was always, corners, outfield, infield?
So I was pretty much always the shortstop.
Okay.
Growing up,
so you're the good
high
player.
school.
You're the good
until
player.
high school, yeah.
Okay.
Always shortstop. I mean, since I was small, speed was my thing.
Yeah.
Super fast. I mean, hit the ball, run. Couple inside the park home runs back then,
Maybe even in AAA. I feel like I saw some social media on that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We
We'll
got
get
one
to
of
that
those.
later.
Yeah, we'll get to that
later.
one. But yeah, little guy, shortstop, and
Just
freshman
like good
year.
hands, good feet.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, kind of. I don't know. They called me the vacuum though, so
Dude,
that was
fucking
something.
fundamentals.
A lot of diving plays.
oh, really?
I felt like I was
Okay.
always good on the ones where I had to dive for, but the ones right at me is the ones I would botch.
Did you recognize like that because I see it now with the kids this age. I see it like with my son in particular, and kids that play that position, in infield in general. Like some of them you can tell don't have that gene that stops them from diving, and like they don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, I'm gonna get this ball if I can get it.
Yeah.
And some of them, like my son, like you could see like they kind of just give it. And I'm like, hey, I'm not expecting you to get that ball, but you didn't take the dive.
Yeah.
See what happens,
Yeah.
But some of them, like, did you have that kind of like be able to just block it out and I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna try every time to get every ball I can.
Every time, no matter. I mean, some of them I probably had no business even diving at. But
Intense? Were you an intense kid?
Oh
or, yeah.
Very competitive growing up.
Yeah?
Very competitive. I got some other stories we can go to after this. But one thing my coaches always told me growing up was, you're not washing your laundry. Get that jersey dirty. Your mom's going to wash that jersey when you get home anyway.
Sorry, Mom.
So, yeah. But now working backwards, there was a time I had a pool growing up, and I was out swimming last with my little brother, and we're like, all right, we'll race. My mom's like, okay, I'll be the judge. So we go down and back. I clearly beat him.
Like,
My
no
mom-
doubt about it.
No doubt about it. My mom's like, no, he beat you. I got out of the pool so mad. My face was red. I went into our sunroom, which is like just a bunch of glass in there. I'm in there pouting, starting to cry, banging my head against the window. And I end up shattering one of the back
I was
windows.
hoping you weren't gonna go.
I shattered the back window because I was so mad that I lost.
Dude, just your head, or were you just pounding your head?
Just pounding my head.
God damn it!
Yeah. It didn't hurt me, but
No, that's
No.
good. That's good.
But yeah, that just kind of shows you the competitive nature.
It was
I had.
there early.
Yeah.
It was there early.
Oh, yeah.
There were signs.
Yeah,
There were signs.
absolutely. Yeah.
So obviously competitive all throughout. So going back to freshman year, you obviously you probably were the best kid on your team through junior high, right? Or
Yeah.
at least top,
Yeah.
right there. Always going to be starting, always going to be at shortstop, probably going to be top of the lineup kind of guy,
Yeah.
baseball wise.
Yeah.
So then do you remember that like affecting you at all in high school? Being like, I'm not even starting? Like,
Oh, yeah.
There's a kid better than me playing my
Absolutely.
position?
I mean, it was like the first time I've ever been on the bench, and I kind of didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was like, this sucks. Like, just watching everyone else play, not getting any time. I'm like, this is awful. And then there was just one game where our second baseman struggled a couple plays, and I got put in and never turned back. I was making diving plays.
I'm giving it all.
Ball.
Do you think that affected you at all? Do you think like that, did it, at that age, it's hard, right? It's hard. And some kids don't have that mentally at that age to be like, I ain't giving this up. You know, it's just like, I'm playing, I'm good enough. Maybe not. But so do you think it actually hits you to like,
oh yeah,
don't let this opportunity go.
Definitely pushed me for sure. And after that, looking back, never ended up sitting again. Sophomore year, starter, second base. And then going into junior year, that's when I was like, all right, I'm kind of done with JCA. But half of it was there was already kids my age that were up on varsity playing baseball in the spots that I'd be playing. So I came to my parents.
Clogged up a little bit.
So I was like, I'm not going to be able to play baseball here. Like, I won't start. So that's kind of how I got them to let me transfer over to West. I was like, if I go to West, I'll probably start over there.
But like school was fine. Like didn't you like Joey Catholic?
I mean,
friends and stuff were great.
Yeah, it was good. The baseball, and I just didn't really think JCA was for me.
Yeah,
it was a little too small, I guess, for me. Everyone kind of.
Do you remember at the time? I mean, obviously you said early on at West when you were there, they won like 8 games or something. Like that was JCA kind of a powerhouse at the time?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were good. We were good. Freshman, sophomore year,
we
were
seemed
good.
To be.
And I mean, I remember our freshman year, like a bunch of us, like, if we stay together, our senior year, we're gonna win state.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And they came close.
Yeah.
My senior year, they lost to Coal City in like the super regional or something, like 2 or 3 games away from state.
So it's country strong boys down there. Okay.
Yeah. But so even junior year at West, like 6 games we won maybe.
Oh damn.
And that year.
What does a season like that do to you? I mean, is that like, am I just focusing on me and like how I can be better? Like how do you guys cope with that? Like,
yeah, I mean it's frustrating, especially when there's some kids that don't really care about the record. They're kind of just there to be there, be on a team.
Know.
Yeah,
like I see it.
Yeah, and it's just like it's frustrating and annoying. But and even then, still, like, even at that point, didn't really see the professional side of it. I think I hit maybe 275 at most my junior year.
Oh, wow.
But it's kind of funny because I was one of my senior buddies. He was like probably our best hitter at that time. And he'd come home, have a good game, talk to his dad. And he'd be like, yeah, he did good, but Brett Johnson's still the best on that team. And he told me these stories later.
Huh?
He told me these stories later in life, and I always laugh. We always laugh about it now because of obviously where I ended up.
Was he confused by that? Was he like, I don't know why he says you're better than I am?
He's like, yeah, I went 3 for 3 today, and Brett had 0 for 3. Like, how were you seeing?
Like,
that
was
better?
Dad giving reasonings? He's like, yeah, but you see the footwork, or like, his at bats were better. He was more patient. Like,
I don't know.
Speed was there.
I don't know what he saw, but
okay.
He saw something, I guess.
He'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny. He brings those stories to you later in life.
Yeah.
He's like, actually, my dad thought you were way better than me.
Yeah, it's funny looking back because even my buddies from JCA, they're like, man, remember I was starting over you freshman year, and now look where you're at.
Well, I don't know if you're being mean that nicely or if you mean that. I mean, like, how the hell did you get to go to the minor leagues?
Right. But yeah, just kind of crazy looking back on all that.
Do you remember when people started to like take notice of you? Was it high school, or were you getting a little bit of attention from colleges, or?
So no, not even, my senior year. I had one offer, St. Francis. Very little money.
Good program.
Good program.
Right.
But I was like, at that point, I was like, all right, I think I can do better. I think I can go and play Division I baseball. I don't know if many other people saw it, but I was like, I know deep down, like, I know I can do that. And my hitting coach at the time, Doug Bedlinger, he worked with a guy that was the head coach of a JUCO down, like, Southern Illinois. He's like, I'll hook you up. I'll get you a visit down there. So I go on the visit, Spoon River Community College.
Oh, yeah. I know Spoon River.
Yeah.
I know Spoon River. I've driven by it many a time.
Yeah.
I used to go to Western. That's where I graduated
Yeah.
from. I'd see like the signs in that for Spoon River heading down. Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. We'd go up to Western to party down there.
Yeah, dude, you can't beat Macomb.
Yeah.
Man. We'll show you. We'll show you how to throw
it was
down.
a good time. But yeah, so he's like, all right, this is after I've graduated too. So this is
So you're done.
July.
Oh wow, you're
This is
done
July,
with high school.
and I still don't know where I'm going for college. And school starts in August, and I go down there for a visit. He's like, all right, Doug, my hitting coach, kind of not forced him, but talked him into giving me a full ride there.
No shit, he had some pull, huh?
He had some pull, yeah.
Still,
But,
you,
I mean, I
thank Doug for that one.
Yeah.
You still keep in contact with
yeah,
Doug?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
He's
Yeah,
the guy. Huh?
Still
like
go
Doug.
talk to him. Yeah, love that guy. Great guy. He still does lessons too.
Oh yeah.
No more hitting lessons. He's only pitching now.
Okay.
But, shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Oh yeah. Well, you were graduated already, and he said got him to get you a full ride.
Yeah.
You're heading down to.
Yeah. So, yeah, I ended up going to Spoon River, but I mean, I had a great senior year of high school too. I think I hit 350. I was all-state player, and I was just like, why am I not getting any offers?
Why?
Like,
Yeah.
why?
How did nobody see me?
Yeah.
Did you have anybody like on your team those years that like was getting attention too, or no?
No.
Maybe that's what it was, right?
Yeah. But
Nate and I just had this conversation about him going to college and that,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of like, I had this other guy on my team, that was another like dominant player.
Yeah.
So, or he's getting a showcase with like, Brandon Singh was like a local, but he ended up getting drafted by the Cubs eventually and made it through pretty high. I think he had a Double-A season where he hit like 37 home runs or something.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever got a cup of coffee with anybody, but that brought Nate attention, at practices and showcases, tournaments and things
Right.
like that. Even in high school, because he was at West and
Yeah.
Nate was at JCA at the time.
Okay.
So they would come to see Brandon pitching
Yeah.
against Nate, and Nate's like, I hit 2 home runs off of him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden people see me.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of competition that we had that were kids going to big schools or highly recruited. So I was like, all right. I mean, I did good against those guys, but still, for whatever reason, I feel like I never got noticed.
Okay.
I think half that's just because we didn't have the wins. And I feel like it's hard for any college coach to look at a team that's losing that much and be like, oh, there's anybody on that team that's, like, worth a damn, I guess.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
There's only so many eyes they can send to be out there.
Yeah.
And, they got right place, right time is a real thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, that definitely lit a fire under my ass. And
Feel a little slighted.
yeah. Yeah. And
Wait, did you hit a spark, or I'm sorry, not a spark, but like a growth? You said you went into high school around like 5 foot.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's
that
not like
was-
you're 6'8", but now, but I mean, did you hit like a little like growth spurt?
Yeah, going sophomore summer, I went probably from like 5'5" to maybe like 5'10", and that summer, me and my buddy spent like the whole summer in the gym,
Dude, just getting jocked.
gym and
Just getting
fishing,
straight jocked.
gym and
I
fishing.
know you said
that's
you've
all
been
it was.
fishing a lot lately.
Oh,
I love that.
yeah.
Love that.
Love that.
Outdoorsman's.
Yeah, but that whole summer was just gym in the morning and like fish the rest of the day,
Dude,
and that's when the big growth spurt came.
you're like, all right, I got something to work with now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was Spoon River like then? You got there. It was like your first year of college, basically.
First year of college, yeah, and it was different down there. Not a lot to do, so
Just a quiet town, basically.
Yeah.
Like a small,
Like,
rural area.
nothing to do down there. So I'm like, all right, it's just baseball here, and that's what it was pretty much for me.
Ball. Just ball.
And parties occasionally.
Obviously. Come on now. Come on.
But focusing on the ball part, yeah, that's, I mean, lifting weights, practicing every single day, same thing. And then we didn't have school on Fridays though, so
Sick.
weekend hit, and
Yeah. It's time to go.
yeah.
It's time to go.
But yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing there though. Freshman year there, we won 6-7 games.
Damn.
So still
Tough stretch.
still not a very good team, right?
Okay.
But I mean, I was just grinding in there, and a lot of my freshman buddies that I made there we kind of all like just grinding on our own. Like I remember me and my buddy Connor Weiss staying after practice, throwing BP to each other like 30 feet away, and we're throwing it as hard as we can, trying to rip off sliders, change-ups, like almost like a simulated
See what you
live.
can do with this.
Yeah, like a live at bat, trying to strike each other out from like 30 feet away.
Really testing each other.
And I think that was a big part of the success I had the following year, even that year too, I guess.
Still at Spoon then?
Yeah.
Still at Spoon?
Yeah,
year 2?
at Spoon.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, freshman year at Spoon, I did really good too. I mean, 350, I think. I had no home runs. I didn't have any juice yet.
Okay.
So
weights hadn't kicked in yet.
Weights haven't kicked in yet. But still, I mean, a lot of doubles, triples, didn't strike
Production.
out.
Production.
Yeah. And
you right-handed or left-handed?
throw righty, bat lefty.
Throw righty, bat lefty. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I've seen you bat before. You were, I was like, maybe he's a switch hitter or something. I don't know. But were you always like more focused on your speed and that? Like, was that always your game?
Yeah, speed was always my game.
Speed, fundamentals, good contact.
Bunt for hits.
Oh yeah. Oh damn. All right.
Hitting ball the other
Old
way.
school.
Gaps. Let my legs do the talking. Stealing bases.
Hitting the ball the other way, right? I mean, especially from that left hand side, and just being able to tuck it in those alleys, and then you can just go. You just go. You know, it's the home run's so sexy though, right? It's like you watch these big boys just hitting rockets.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're hitting line drives and getting them off the bat hard enough, and they're skipping into gaps, you can move.
Yeah, yeah. And same thing after my freshman year. No offers to any other schools. And I was like, well, this sucks. And fast forward a little bit, I went summer ball. I go down to Florida. To play summer ball.
Oh, okay.
Collegiate League of the Palm Beaches. That was awesome. I mean, the league was okay, but
is that something that coaches offered? Like, hey, there's this, or like they require you, or is that just an option for you? Like, how did you even find out about a Florida Collegiate League?
I found out from one of my buddies that was on the team. But I mean, nowadays, a lot of schools do kind of send people to certain leagues.
Okay.
More so at like the Division I level. Like I remember a lot of our coaches sending guys places, but back then not really. So my buddy's like, yeah, I'm going down to this Florida league. Like, they got spots open. You see if you do it. Call my dad. He's like, all right.
How do they know? How do they know you're like? You can just be like a mediocre or worse player. Like, we just need the slots filled, or is it like, hey, they have tape on you or something? They'll be like, oh yeah, he could definitely.
I think they probably just saw my numbers, and a guy that hits 350, whether he's got any home runs or not.
Doesn't matter what level of college baseball at that point.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go down there. The league was okay. I mean, there was a lot of talent. I just think it wasn't run very well. I mean, 6 teams, I think, playing on like high school fields.
Yeah.
I mean, I recall one game where someone couldn't open the shed, and we had flip flops.
Dude.
We had flip flops as the bases.
Oh, I love that. But you're going to play that game.
But yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, there was a lot of, since it was a Florida league, you had a lot of like Florida State guys, like some big schools. So you saw some velo down there for sure.
Yeah. A lot of fun, huh?
Yeah. Oh, great time. Great. Palm Beach. I was living.
How could you beat that at that age?
Right behind the Palm Beach Cardinals spring training facility.
Oh, damn.
So it was awesome.
Playing at high schools with flip flops is basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
but
why don't we just play there?
We got to see all those guys all the time during like their spring training time and stuff. And back then I didn't even really think about it, but I'm like, it was pretty cool.
Was that inspirational for you to see that stuff?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Not even inspirational. That sounds weird to say inspirational, but like motivating, I guess.
Yeah.
To see that.
Definitely.
Like, I think I could do that.
Absolutely.
I could play at that level.
Absolutely.
But you garner a lot of respect for when you see that.
Yeah.
You're like, those guys.
Yeah.
They're doing it. They're doing it right.
And
I think I can do it.
Even playing against these like big Division I school guys, and I'm competing with them, playing just as well, if not better than some of them. Like, I can be right there with them. Like, why? I'm like, why is it not happening for me? Why am I not seeing any offers from these schools? Why is no one reaching out? Any of that? Because I'm like, I'm just as good as these guys.
Did you have like a swag, like a confidence to you?
Oh,
Did you have how would you classify yourself?
More so my sophomore year. I'd say I kind of
At Spoon?
yeah,
Spoon sophomore year?
Spoon, yeah.
That's when you kind of started to develop a little...
That's when I really kind of got
cocky
that
confidence.
confidence, that cockiness where I almost got into a couple fights there.
Like, I can swing it. Don't worry, I can swing it.
Not my fault at that point, but so, yeah, I mean, that sophomore year was a good year for me, but COVID shut us down. So we got 19 games through the year, finally a team that's like 500, and that's really kind of when I realized that I could play pro ball.
So that time frame, I mean, that's an interesting topic no matter what angle you approach it from, right? Everybody has a different... And then the pandemic hit, ... You know, like, and this changed for me, you know? So for you guys, I mean, just sidetracking and diving into that a little bit, like what you said 15 games or whatever, that was 15 games, then they stopped you, or like this was 15 games during, you know, the pandemic? Like what, do you remember like what you were doing, where you were at when you're like, apparently the world's just kind of shutting down for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's crazy. So we actually just finished our spring break trip. We were in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach again. Just got back, like 18-hour bus ride.
Sick.
It's like Monday morning, we get a text from our coach. He's like, hey guys, school's shut down for like 2 weeks. Like, you guys can all go home. We're kind of like waiting to hear back from the NJCAA about what's going to go on the rest of the season. We were very optimistic though. Like, oh, it sounds like we're going to be able to still finish this season. But I remember we were in my living room, me, my roommates, my cousin, some other baseball buddies, when we all kind of got that text, and we're like, at that point, we're like, all right, well, we're gonna party tonight. Like, we didn't really realize
do shit for 2 weeks.
We didn't realize really what was happening at that point.
Do you remember there being like a lead up to that? Like, we're like, oh, this might happen, or like you were hearing stuff from other places. You're like, oh, dude, like, do you remember how you took it in?
I mean, I feel like on the bus ride back, we kind of saw like a lot of tweets about this COVID coming up, and it's kind of crazy because I think like Myrtle Beach was kind of a hot spot for it when it first came.
Travel, man, right?
And
probably getting people on
spring
planes,
break time right then.
East Coast.
It's like, oh, we were just there, and
shit,
nothing happened.
Yeah, like, I didn't get sick.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but we were, and yeah, I mean, all just sitting in the living room. We're like, oh, this is weird.
You remember when it like hit you that it was something? You know, obviously it's something when they tell you school's gonna shut down for 2 weeks. We're not playing baseball. But then what was the follow up to that? Was like, okay, apparently no more season or partial season. Or
I think I was home at that point during like that 2 weeks or something at home, and they're like, yeah, they're canceling the season, and that sucked because we were about to have a good year that year.
I'm feeling it.
Everyone was devastated though. I mean, I was so heartbroken. I wanted that year to continue, like, as long as it could, really. It was, I mean, great time in general.
Yeah.
Like, me and all my boys. But yeah, it was so devastating when we heard that news. And it kind of just, like, all over Twitter exploded. Like, you see all different programs tweeting, like, this shouldn't happen, whatever. Like, let us play.
And nobody knew. Nobody knew what it was. No. Nobody knew how severe. I mean, you could still debate today, you know, what it actually was, what it wasn't.
Right.
But I mean, what wasn't like big time college football, right? Like they basically had to, I don't know, there was a lot of things they had to do to get a form of a season in that year.
Yeah.
So I imagine a program like your guys is like, you don't really have the swing to go to the NCAA, you know, and you don't have billions of dollars that rest on you guys between, you know, gambling and the season and the amount of money and boosters and all that. So it's like for you guys, it's kind of like, well, they said it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, so that was it. That was it. There was no like argument. There was no like, we got to fight to get this season.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys do all year? Like well, you know, in the time that you probably would have been playing baseball.
I mean, so I was home. School was on my laptop for the rest of the year. But, I mean, I actually had a pretty good year, though, that year. 'Cause I just went to the gym in my basement, and I got strong. I got big.
Figured it out.
Yeah. It was literally just, I'd work out in the morning, then I'd have my buddies over at our pool, a little day drinking action.
Hang out,
and that
enjoy yourself.
That was pretty much the summer until they had there was like a little summer league that they started at the Slammers place. It's like 4 teams,
Okay.
real small, during the COVID, and it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days a week.
Did they have like protocols and shit for you guys? Like, can't be by each other in the dugout, or you have to like spread out, or we're outside, so we're okay. Like,
Yeah, I think it was like you're outside, so it's okay at that point. I don't really remember much else.
yeah,
I mean, there was like no fans. It was like just family, really.
okay. And you're just playing like 9-inning games or
Yeah.
7-inning games?
Yeah,
or
just
like,
9 inning games. One team. It's like a doubleheader. Like there's one game, and then it's like a 6:30 game, and then like a 8:30 game.
When did baseball kind of return to normalcy for you?
Probably my senior year, really.
Okay.
I mean, junior year we had a pretty normal season.
So you're long gone from Spoon at this point, then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Spoon's done.
Yeah.
So you ended up at SIU Edwardsville.
Yeah.
So when did that transition take place?
Backtracking.
Yeah, sorry,
Spoon.
we're taking it all over. We're close though. We're getting
Yeah. So Spoon, that sophomore year, 19 games. I was hitting like 450,
Jesus.
3 home runs, like 3 strikeouts to 17 walks, 19 stolen bases, all in that 19 games. And actually, no. All right, I got to backtrack.
That's all right. Hey, that's what we're here for.
The fall of my sophomore year is when I committed to Southern Illinois.
Okay, so you
I
knew
started-
you were making that transition even while you were still there.
I was starting to get a lot more calls from colleges, but no Division I, a lot of NAIA, Division II.
Okay.
And I was like, this kind of sucks. Like, I know I can play Division I baseball, and that's when Southern Illinois reached out. They're like, yeah, we want you for a visit. Go down there and visit. PJ Finnegan was the one who reached out to me.
Who's PJ Finnegan?
He was the assistant hitting coach, or assistant like head coach then, kind of like recruiter.
Okay.
He's a guy that I'd say really kind of changed the course of my career. One, plucking me out of Spoon River, finding me from there, getting me on that visit, taking me down there. Went on that visit. 3 days later, I committed.
Oh shit.
They called me. They're like, yeah, you got like till the end of the day almost, like till end of the day today or tomorrow. Like, if not, there's another guy that's going to take your spot. I'm
It's
like,
Little League travel ball, dude. And they're like, you got 24 hours.
Yeah.
Give us your $4,000.
Yeah, my parents didn't even go down and see the campus.
No shit.
I went down there, visited by myself.
I had to look it up. It's you guys are Cougars.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah, the
you've always
Cougars.
been Cougars, right?
Yeah, but I love that campus. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like huge, but beautiful campus. I call my parents after. I'm like, oh, Mom, you would love this place. They're like, oh, but we want to go see it. It's like, all right, we can probably do that.
Yeah.
A couple days later, they call me like, all right, we need your decision.
I'm like, well,
And I was like, well, it's the only Division I offer I got. I'm taking it. 25%, so not much at that time.
yeah.
But I took it and I ran with it. So that sophomore or junior year, Southern Illinois now, still weird because we still got the COVID regulations and stuff. But I asked PJ, I was like, why, or like, what did it take to get me? He's like, we saw you, but I had called like every head coach in your JUCO conference to see if you were a legit guy.
References.
Because of our team, like we weren't good the previous year. I mean, that year we were doing pretty good, but he's like, yeah, I called every coach in that conference. Like, I had to check out and make sure you were legit talent.
And I was.
Yeah. I was like, wow, it's kind of crazy. But all right, backtracking again. We're kind of hopping all over
Dude,
here.
don't worry about
I forget
it.
like bits and pieces.
It's fine.
But, so that COVID summer when I'm at home after sophomore year, that's when I'm like, all right, I could probably play professional baseball. So when we were in South Carolina, we were playing a team, forget the name, but the head coach was a scout for the Braves. And
Oh, no shit. Okay.
so we played them twice. I did really good. I hit like 2 home runs against them. I mean, they had some dudes coming out throwing like 94, some legit guys. And their coach is a scout. And after that, reached out to my coach. I'm at home at this point, though, so I had no idea that any of this happened. And my coach texted me. He's like, hey, there's a Brave scout, kind of wants some information on you. I was like, oh, shit.
What?
I remember I was like, ran to my dad. I was like, you'll never believe this. Like, there's a Brave scout. He wants information on me. Like,
No
all this.
shit.
I'm like, this is crazy. And I still believe if we had a full year that year in JUCO that I could have got drafted out of JUCO.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It would have been
Would
different.
have never even gone to
Yeah,
to SIU. Really,
Yeah.
just. But yeah, you didn't get the opportunity.
yeah,
That fuel you a little bit.
yeah. But it was nice. I was actually ranked 102nd, the 102nd JUCO player after my sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm starting to kind of see results now.
Pretty big pool.
I'm like, yeah, there's
to be 102 in.
Yeah, it was like out of the top 250, I was like 102 or something. I'm like, all right, my name's kind of starting to get out there now. So I'm like, it could happen. It could happen. So now moving forward a little bit to junior year, fall. It's Division I, they have all scout days and stuff. That fall, I ended up hurting myself again, re-injured my fractured back, missed the rest of the fall.
The back's never good.
Yeah. It sucked because, I mean, I'm competing for a spot out there now. Like, it's not JUCO anymore. Like, I'm no longer the best player. This is
now
legit.
I'm the injured guy.
Legit guys. Like, I needed this fall to kind of earn a spot. Like, show the coaches I'm legit. Like, I can actually play at this level. Like, they saw, oh, you did this at JUCO, but, like, we're not still 100% sold on you.
Very honest of them, huh?
Yeah.
We're not bullshitting around with you.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to earn it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially at that level, too. And so that sucked. Missed the fall season. Missed the scout.
Thought you were screwed at that point.
Yeah, missed the scout days. And I remember I got the call from my trainer. I was in my room. He's like, yeah, so you refractured your back. After I hung up the phone, I remember I slammed my desk so fucking hard. I screamed out. I was like, bah! Like, so pissed off because I was missing the rest of the fall. So angry. And it sucked because then I was just sitting there freezing my ass off in the dugouts for the rest of the fall. Couldn't even play.
Just, nothing you can do there.
Yeah.
A hoodie and a fucking hat.
Exactly.
Watch everybody else do what you want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Take your spot, possibly.
Yep. It sucked. But kind of again lit a fire under my ass. I was like, all right, I know I need to work this off season when I go home. So I think we stayed home after Thanksgiving that year. Usually you'd go back, but after Thanksgiving we went to like remote classes.
Okay.
So finally got like healthy for my back. It wasn't as long of a healing process this time because at that point my back had already started healing itself after they got the results or whatever. But obviously it was there. But so I start working out. At that time I think I was actually hitting at the yard.
Oh no shit.
I think I was with my dad still.
So you just like remember, hey Karch, can I come get some work in here? Or like,
yeah, I think he kind of just like let me know. He's like, yeah, if you want to, like you can come in here anytime.
Okay.
So like me and my dad, I think my dad was going in there with me, throwing me BP.
Throwing you flips or just overhand
flips,
BP type
BPs.
shit? Okay.
I remember getting pissed off at him because he's a lefty, so his BP he'd throw like cutters.
And you're a lefty.
And I'm a lefty, and he's like all around the zone, and I'm like, dude, can you just throw a strike?
Get a machine.
Yeah.
Or get the machine out.
I remember getting pissed with him. I was like, dude, just throw a strike. Like, frustrating. And yeah, so we go back. Springtime now. We have like live at bats indoors, and I'm doing all right these live at bats. But I forget what practice. But PJ pulled me to the side. He's like, "Yeah, you're going to be our starter. Like you'll be starting in center field, probably hitting leadoff."
Were you kind of shocked at that?
Yeah.
Like what have you guys seen to give me that, or is that we so bad at center field right now? You don't even have to. I don't even have to show you anything.
Well. So the center fielder that was there, love him, but wasn't the best defender.
Okay, had a little bat on him, but
he could hit the ball. He was a thumper, but his defense struggling a little bit, and everyone kind of told me that too. It's like everyone was telling me like, dude, don't worry, you're gonna be starting out there. Like you're a lot better defender out there.
And you're not like classically looking for big power numbers out of your center fielder. You need that strong defense, maybe getting on base, being able to run the base as well, that kind of thing. I mean, that changes over time. There's trends and things, but But yeah, it's not a position that you usually like put the premium part of it on. I mean, look at Pete Crow Armstrong right now.
Right.
I mean, he's not
Right.
the biggest bat dude can hit, but god damn it, can he go get the ball?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Kind of just looking for a leader out there. I mean, controlling the outfield, right? So you need
And you did mention you had a little swag by this point. Now you're
yeah.
starting to feeling yourself a little bit. That's
So, yeah,
that's a
that-
good recipe for like being the captain of that outfield.
Yeah. But so first week we go to Wichita State for 3 days.
Shockers, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
Shockers. And I'm like, this is legit big old stadium.
Yeah, facility's a little different.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Their guys are out here throwing, like, all their guys are dudes at this point. Like, everyone's pretty much throwing 90 for the most part. I think I had one hit that series. It was like 1 for 12 to start.
Little eye opener.
And a little chopper over the
Like,
first
I'll get
baseman's
there.
head.
I'll get there.
Little chopper. I'm like, fuck, dude. I don't know why I'm starting anymore. Like, what is going on? And I don't even really remember at what point the switch kind of flipped in that season. But I ended up having a pretty good junior year.
In moments like that, did you sustain yourself with like the like your defense? Like you kind of use that mentally to be like, yeah, no, I suck right now at the plate, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like maybe I got to get used to this 94 thing over
Right.
and over again.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm still going to get it. Like I'm
Yeah.
still playing solid defense. Got an
Yeah.
arm. Got
Yeah.
Okay.
That's definitely a big thing. That and just, like, my teammates picking me up that have been there. They're like, dude, don't worry. Like, you'll be fine. Like, take you. Like, I remember some of my buddies like, dude, last year I started, like, I was on an over 25 streak and I still didn't. He's like, I was damn near begging for a day off and they didn't give it to me.
Sucks to hear it, but it also like, damn, it makes me feel a little better.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, it happens, right? Like, it's just hard to accept that it happens. Like,
That first series of Wichita, are you like definitely this is a step up in class right now?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in a whole nother world right now.
for sure. I mean, Friday night under the lights, I'm leading off my first time, like, Division I baseball. Here it is. Like, I'm like, shit. I mean,
How long do you think it took you to get there mentally? Like comfort, not even comfort, but just like, okay, now I think I can start to progress here.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
mean,
couple
like,
series or a couple.
yeah, a couple series. I think is when maybe the second or third series in, I was like, all right. I mean, like, I knew I belonged, but
Right.
at that point, it was more like I was proving it to other people. I was trying to prove it to other people, I guess. Like, I knew I belonged. I knew, like, internally I belonged, but I was trying to prove it to other people. Like,
Now I gotta show.
yeah, I got to show it.
a
I got to
little
show you
bit.
guys, like, I belong to stay here, too. And, yeah, I don't even remember who else we played and when it kind of flipped.
Yeah, do you remember like squaring up a ball or like making a hell of a catch or something? You're like, okay, all right, I belong. You know, I'm here. I'm good. Let's go.
I don't even
That's all right.
remember.
Hey.
I'm assuming it's probably going to be whatever game I hit my first home run.
Just like felt like some of the weight lift a little
Yeah.
bit.
And that kind of just like, all right.
Breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
But I do remember actually now.
Oh, there it
was
is. Yes.
we were playing St. Louis and I was having a pretty rough game. And it's like the top of the seventh because we're at their place. Bases are loaded. It's a midweek, but their pitcher's been throwing pretty good, dicing us up a little bit. He's talking some shit.
Little chirping.
Yeah, a little
out there?
chirping going
Okay.
on. I come up, bases loaded, top of the seventh. I don't remember the score, but I hit a grand slam.
Oh shit.
And I knew it off the bat.
That's a lid lifter. All right.
I hit that thing. I start like McGregor walking. I'm
Oh
like,
shit. You were like
chest out, walking to first base, coming around, talking
gently
some
lay your bat down to the side.
shit. You're right.
Take a jaunt around the bases.
Come around third base, chirping the pitcher now. That was the moment where it kind of flipped for
You're
me.
like, all right. I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
here. I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah.
So this is junior year still, though, right?
This is junior
junior
year,
year.
yeah.
We're still kind of in a cloud of a little bit of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But we're playing baseball.
Yeah.
We're out here.
Yeah.
We're making moves. We're doing big things now. Grand Slam really kind of ignites it.
Yes.
What a great story for that, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's what better hit is there in
Yeah.
in any form of baseball, especially if you're not down by 10, you know.
Right. Yeah.
You're not down by 10. The game's close and you can throw one of those on the board. It's
Yeah.
like, what more confidence could you ask for? So how the rest of that kind of season progressed for you? I mean, did you stay there junior and senior year?
Yeah.
Then?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a good
How's the
season
club?
for me.
How's the club? Ball club good and
We
decent?
we were all right. My junior year, just a couple games under 500. At that time though, like the playoffs, because of COVID, it was only the top 4 teams make it. And I think we ended like 6th or maybe somewhere right around there. But I had a good year. I hit 300, 10 home runs. So
Power boy here. All
power
of a sudden,
numbers,
huh? Okay.
power numbers starting to come. Big issue for me that year was strikeouts. 49 strikeouts.
You were like feast or famine. It's like
It's kind of
I'm either
weird though.
hitting dingers or I'm punching tickets.
It was like a walk, a home run, or a strikeout because I had 49 walks to 49 strikeouts.
Oh damn. Okay. So you understood the zone pretty well.
Yes.
A lot of swing and miss, or were you taking?
I mean, probably swing and miss, but at the
Mixed
same
bag.
time, it's those umpires. That's what I always say. Umpires, like their zones.
Stop. Don't even say it.
Their zones were not good. I mean, this is all over though. There's
I
the
hope somebody
umpires.
watches this. Like he's blaming the umpires. He's blaming the umpires.
Yeah, I mean, even pro ball, the umpires are still hit or miss. But
Yeah.
I blame a
We
lot.
see it.
I shouldn't blame a lot, but I do put a lot of those numbers on the umpires because it's a couple balls off and they ring me up. I'm like, dude,
It's rough.
like,
It's rough, man.
It's not close.
You're waiting for those robots to come in and start calling balls and strikes.
Yeah, but yeah. So junior year, pretty good year. Then my coach was like, "All right, you're kind of, some coaches or some teams are talking about you, like talking to us about you." That year, the draft was first year of 20 rounds, I think. Where they cut it. Well, COVID, they cut it from 40 to 5. Then
It's so crazy.
Then they cut it. It was only 20 rounds, I think, the next year. And there was, at that point, it was kind of like a really clogged up because you had the guy only 5 rounds from the year prior. So there's the teams that still have a bunch of guys that they wanted from the year prior that they didn't draft.
And then there was all the rules too for colleges and NCAA, right? About you got extra eligibility basically because of the COVID time.
Yeah. Yeah, that ended up screwing a lot of younger guys. And then kind of the transfer portal came in play at that time.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you still see in football that you got like 26,
Bananas.
25-year-old quarterbacks that are on like their 8th
crazy.
year somehow.
See, Michael Penix, he was in there forever, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't even want to be in college for that long. 4 years was enough for
He
me.
was up there spinning it though. Anyway, so for your situation, so it's kind of like, So that first year, you said they went to 20 rounds after the pandemic.
Yeah.
When it was 5 or 4 rounds or whatever.
Yeah. So 2020, 5 rounds. 2021, 20 rounds. And now, same thing. They kept it at 20 rounds. Because that COVID year ended up affecting like the minor leagues too, because they had to cut a bunch of players.
Big time.
Yeah.
I remember reading some of those stories.
Yeah.
The affiliates changed.
Yeah. And that's right around where there was like a new collective bargaining agreement that came out where you started getting more pay, but there's less players. So they had to cut a bunch of players, cut some teams.
Were you following that while you were in college at all, or was that kind of out of sight, out of mind? But I still knew in my head I could potentially be a pro baseball player.
The only kind of reason I really remember anything about the collective bargaining agreement was going on is from one of my classes where we had like an assignment looking into the collective bargaining agreement, but not so much the minor league side, more like the major league side. But it was like a marketing or some type of business class where it's like we were looking into it some way.
Do something that relates to you.
Yeah, like what would some things you'd want to see be done if you were in the CBA as a player, and like what would your side of it be if you were an owner, something like that. So that's kind of the only reason I remember anything from that going on. Because that was the year before I was drafted when this new CBA kind of started taking place.
It was already in place, because there was a potential for a strike, but it never happened.
Yeah.
Manford took care of that. Made sure that they were. So you finish that and you go into your senior year. Where are you at mentally with senior year? You like, think I may, think I will continue my baseball career after this.
At this point, I'm pretty confident. A lot of teams calling me. Well, a lot of teams. I've had maybe 10 or 12
More
teams.
than one's a lot.
Yeah.
When it comes to major league teams.
I had some scouts calling me, following me throughout the season, talking to me. So I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. I have a pretty good year, my senior year. So 350, 23 home runs.
Holy shit, your power really,
power really came out.
Pretty cool considering it's a step up in play,
Yeah. Yeah. So power numbers really came out that year. It was kind of cool because you kind of see the scouts in the stands, but at the same time, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's like, I felt like
Did you have a system in your head to compartmentalize that? Or was it just
shit? I was like, I see him. I'm like, fuck, I gotta fucking lock in. I gotta play. And every time any game I had a bad game, a couple strikeouts, I was like, fuck, dude, it's not good.
I'm out of it now.
I put a lot of
very small picture.
A lot of unnecessary pressure on myself that year.
Yeah, opportunities can be slim.
Yeah,
and, you want to perform. I get that.
Yeah, but feeling really good throughout that year. A lot of confidence, a little cocky. Almost started a couple of fights that year. I remember.
I had a little fire in them.
We were at Mercer in Georgia, and I hit a home run kind of early in the game, but we're beating them pretty good at that point. Like it was 7-3 or something. I hit a home run. I pimped the shit out of it.
Just what was your go-to pimp? What was it? Just
kinda
a stare, a little
drop the bat, stare, slow walk. Ooh. Almost like a little Griffey-ish.
No jumps, no bouncing.
No, none of that. Little Griffey. I like to be not too much.
It's sweet left hand swing.
Yeah, one hand finish, kind of just drop it behind me, stare for a little bit, and start walking.
Dude, God, it's got to feel great. I'll never know that feeling. It's got to feel good though.
But yeah, that when I pimped it, I was feeling good. Come around third base, pitcher's telling me something. I don't even remember. I'm like, dude,
he's barking at you a little bit.
If you don't like it, go pick it up. And he didn't like that. The catcher's standing in front of home plate as I'm coming. He's saying something to me. I step on home, like, what's up? Like, I was ready to go down right there.
Sorry about it.
Like, I was ready to go. I wasn't scared of nothing at that point. I was feeling good.
The adrenaline must be insane.
So benches almost cleared. Coaches kept us in check. But that was one of the times I almost started a brawl. One
of the times.
Yeah. There was.
Did you have a reputation, you think? Or did your teammates oh yeah, Brett's the guy that gets us into some shit? Or it was there's 3 other guys that were just as bad or worse than me.
I'd probably say I was definitely the leader of it. I think anytime you're looking at the opposing team, whoever's got the best numbers, you're kind of already putting a X on them.
Yeah.
This guy's probably going to be a little shit talker, a little cocky. So that's just kind of, I guess that's what I was.
That's how the game worked. That was you that year.
Yeah, that's who I was. I was like, fuck them, fuck it. I'm here to ball.
In ball, you did.
Yeah. And then so the other time we almost started a brawl, we were playing Carbondale, Southern Illinois Carbondale.
A little rivalry there.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah. So we were at Carbondale, and for their conference, they had review. There were plays that were reviewable or whatever.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
I don't remember. You could only review certain plays or something.
Yeah, outer safe at first or
something.
And
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember we had a play that would have tied the game up, but they called our guy out at first. And I'm at third base, and their dugout comes out, because they got the out. And they're all like, yeah, let's go, fuck these guys. I'm right there. I'm like, I turn around, I'm like, dude, what's up? Fuck you, I'll fight you right now. And so we start kind of going back and forth, and then I don't know, someone I think came and pulled me away, and that was the other fight.
The boys were ready though.
Yeah,
the boys were ready
for sure.
What that's high intensity moments right there, right? Stuff that a lot of people don't understand. People that aren't athletes maybe don't understand.
Right.
The juices are fucking flowing.
Yeah,
You could be as cool as a cucumber on the outside, but once you get in between the white lines and shit,
oh yeah,
it's battle.
Yeah,
it's battle time. That's what separates a lot of the great athletes. That's just what it is.
Right,
like it or not. So, I mean, fast forwarding through senior year, it's like obviously we talked a little bit at the beginning
Yeah.
where you ended up, but
Right.
I mean, how did it all start? Like, how did the process, and obviously you're being reached out to, and scouts and things like that are showing up. Like, so what kind of started where you like really clicked? Where you're like, holy shit, I'm going to be a major, or a professional baseball player.
Yeah. So after that senior year, after the senior finished, like great year, I'm feeling really good. Like, okay,
You guys finished winning record that year.
One
like
game,
right around
one game under. We actually had a really good playoff run though. We were the 7th seed, so we played the start of the tournament. It's like 1 game elimination, right, until the final 4 teams, and then it's 2 games. So we're playing like the 5th seed or something, Eastern Illinois, kind of a rivalry game. And actually, no, I'm sorry, we played Austin P the first game. We beat them, so we have another game later that day. Since we survived Eastern Illinois, we ended up beating them to make it to the final 4 teams. So it was like the 1 and 2 seed teams got byes till the next day. And so we sweep that first day. Second day, we're playing the 1 seed, I think, which at that time was Belmont, I believe. And we're still doing really good, right? It's like the 6th, 7th inning. We have a 7-3 lead. Like, we're feeling good. Only thing is that senior year, we had like 1 guy out of our bullpen, and that was it.
Slim pickings back there, huh?
And he threw a lot.
Oh yeah.
So
had some miles on it.
He had some miles on it. Yeah.
Okay.
And he kind of almost got abused a little bit out of the pen because it's like that's the only guy we count on. Like any
78 innings,
any high leverage situation, late game, it's gonna be him. And we ended up blowing that game. They come back.
Oh shit!
They come back. They
Those
win.
sting.
It hurts. It hurts. And then the other side of the bracket, it was another like lower seed that ended up winning and coming in, and they actually beat the 2 seed. So they were in the winner side, and we had to now play the 2 seed, which was Southeast Missouri State. Kind of, I mean, I guess they're all kind of rivalries, conference. But,
yeah, it's all conference, right?
Another team that kind of some bad blood with. They swept us during the regular season, so we're not happy with them. Same story. We come out. We had a lead late in the game. End up blowing it.
Damn.
And
bring the same guy out of the bullpen again?
Probably
guy.
did.
Poor guy.
But yeah, and that's the season. That's
how
our
just
season
like that, it's
loses.
over.
Just like that, it's over.
Jesus.
And I mean, even though I had a pretty strong feeling that I was going to keep playing, it's still hard.
That thought of like,
it's still hard. I mean,
potentially this could be my last game.
It could
or
be like
as a starter, as a productive contributing player to a team that could have success.
I mean, as much as I believe that I was going to keep playing, you still never know. So, and it's last time you're playing with all your brothers, like the bonds you build throughout college with those guys, I mean, that's family. So it's tough. It's tough. That's like the last game. It's the last time I'm going to see some of these guys for years, if not the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So that was definitely
hard and weird goodbyes.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody else on your team end up getting a sniff at the professional ranks?
We had 2 pitchers. One of them, they both stayed another year though, but one of them went to Kansas. He got signed as an undrafted free agent to Colorado. I believe he's still playing with them. And the other got signed as an undrafted free agent to the White Sox.
Oh, no shit.
And then the next year, we had two guys get drafted, 9th and 13th round. So one's in the Phillies.
Getting recognized a little bit.
Yeah. So team got on the map a little bit there for sure.
So how'd your story come to?
So yeah, it's getting close to the draft, right? I'm talking to my coaches a lot, talking to a lot of scouts. It's kind of mixed, My coaches are like, yeah, you never know. Like, you never know what'll happen. A lot of these guys will tell you one thing because one of my coaches, he actually got drafted, played a little bit minor league ball. He's like, yeah, I remember like teams were telling me they're going to take me in this round and I fell or whatever. And I was having kind of the same thing with me. I was having the Braves are like, yeah, right now we're kind of planning on taking you like anywhere from like 8 to 10 range. And I'm like, all right, well, either way, this is a good sign. Like, I'm on boards, you know, like people want me. And then a couple of days before the draft starts getting real, like these scouts are calling me like, all right, so like, let's get into business. I don't have an agent, so I'm doing this all by myself. So,
Any reason? Any reason behind it?
I kind of talked to my coach. I was like, do you think I'm going to need an agent? He's like, I think you're okay. It's really just like the guys that are in the first 5 rounds.
It's just such a different animal than every other sport, you know.
Yeah.
Like you get drafted in with the hopes of, you know,
Right.
being good enough to eventually get to. It's not like football. You know,
Yeah.
you're jumping right onto that roster most likely if you're getting drafted in 4 rounds, 4 or 5, even the 5th round, you know. You're going to get a fair shot, hopefully.
Right.
Hockey, I mean, sometimes you start in the minors, quote unquote, but it's not the journey that baseball is.
Yeah.
Some of these guys 10 years in a the minors, some they might never sniff it, but so don't know, what would you do? Do you get an agent? So his advice was like top 5 guys, you know, maybe.
First 5 rounds, like he's like, just being realistic, like you probably won't be a first 5 round guy, so I think you'll be all right. I was like, okay, like I'll do it. Didn't kind of realize the stress that was going to come with that.
Just managing phone calls and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I got scouts calling me like, all right, like what's your number? I was like, what do you mean? Like we're talking money now.
How much
like,
dollars do you want?
How much money do you want? I was like, I don't know. Like I just want slot value for wherever I get taken. They're like, all right, you're a senior.
We're gonna fleece this guy.
Like you're a senior. You're not coming from like a Power 5 school. You're not gonna get that. Like, let's be real. Like, what's your amount? And I was just like, I just stuck with slot value because I didn't know what to say. And,
at the time, did you know slot values for specific?
I was looking it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that's.
You're like, let's say I'm in the 6th round, 7th round, 8th round. What do I, you know?
I was like, that's a good looking number to me. I want that. And so they're calling me, and I'm like, shit, dude. Like, this is kind of getting stressful now. And so fast forward a couple of days. First day of the draft is first 2 rounds. I'm following along, even though I know I'm not going to get drafted. I was out at the bar. Some of my boys, I'm like, all right. Like, I'm kind of celebrating because I'm like, I think this is going to happen. So then next day, it's like rounds 3 through 10.
Okay.
And I got my family with me. Got one of my buddies from down at school. Sitting on the couch, watching the draft go by. 3rd round, 4th round.
You watched it on TV, or is it like streaming somewhere? I don't remember. Like,
so yeah, the first
sometimes they have parts of it on TV, and
the first 2 rounds they'll do on TV, and then after that, you're streaming it. So use my computer, put it up on the big screen. We're sitting there. 3rd round goes by. 4th round, phone starts vibrating. I'm like, everyone gets their cameras out, starts filming me.
Oh shit!
I think the first team that called me was actually the Seattle Mariners. But they're like, all right, we're looking at taking you here in the 5th round. Money was way under slot. I was like, I think I can get more than that. So I said no. And it was nervous. I was nervous. I was like,
did I just fuck up?
Did I just fuck up? Like, so hang up the phone.
Do you want to share? Like, what was the offer? Like, or is that
it was
too personal?
That's fine.
Yeah.
So 4th round is when they called me. So they were planning on taking me like the 4th or 5th, which is signing bonus in there is like 400 to 500,000. They offered me 25.
Holy shit! Wow, they really did try.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I need more. Like I need more. So hung up with them. 4th round goes by. 5th round goes by.
Did I fuck up here?
6th round goes by.
Did I mess up?
7th round, get a phone call. I think this was the Braves. The guy's like, all right, like 8th, 9th round, we're gonna think about taking you. 35,000. Slot value for there is still like anywhere from like 100 to 300,000. I'm like,
God damn.
I need I'm like, I want this slot value. I want this slot value. Somewhere on there, I'm like, I can't do it. So I hang up with them. Another round. Mariners call back.
Oh, they called back. All right.
offer a little bit more, and I'm like, I'm still trying to stick to it. I'm like, I'm gonna get more eventually. So now ninth round comes. 10th round's the last round for that day.
Okay.
Ninth round, I get a call from the Diamondbacks. They're like, all right, here's what we can do for you. We're gonna give you 55. Slot value's like 150. He's like, listen, you're not gonna get your slot value. You're 22 years old. Like, you're older than most of these guys. Come from a small school. Like, first 10 rounds, like, you've got to take this. Like, this is as best as you're gonna get. I was like, can I call you back? Like, give myself a second. So I text some of these other scouts. I'm like, all right, like, they're gonna take me here. They're offering me this unless you can get me something better. And the guy from the Braves texted me back. He's like, take it. I was like, fuck, all right. So they call me back. I'm like, everyone's got their cameras on me. I was like, all right, let's do this thing. So now kind of just waiting. So we kind of talked in the 9th round before their pick comes up. Now we're just waiting. So TV comes on. They had the second pick of that round in the 10th round. So
Okay.
first pick was like the Orioles for that round. Then here it comes, Arizona Diamondbacks with 250 something pick in the 2023 or 2022 MLB draft. The Arizona Diamondbacks select Brett Johnson.
You're like, holy shit.
Everyone went crazy, going wild.
Do you have like the clip still? Do you still have like the clip saved somewhere?
I think I do. Me, my brothers, my buddy, we went in the backyard.
I'm gonna have to find that clip and and edit it into this.
Pop some champagne, going crazy.
I mean, we can celebrate right now. We can take a little nip. We can take a little nip off of it. Let's recreate the moment. Right?
Yeah.
So everybody's going nuts. Phones out.
My phone's blowing up. Texts from everyone. Calls, and I'm just like, I'm so overwhelmed. Like, that was such an anxiety-filled day for me. Sitting on the couch there, like, I'm almost shaking. Like, anytime I get a text or a phone call, I'm like freaking out, checking my phone. And then finally the moment happened, and it was like just like everything just like I felt free. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I was wondering, because like what point did you let it sink in? I guess is where I was thinking. But
yeah.
Well, let's have a little sip and a cheers to professional baseball player Brett Johnson. Boom. Yeah, little Weller Antique 107. I thought that was probably the right point to, if we wanted to have a sip of alcohol, that'd be the point.
Yeah.
The craziest thing I think that that spin my head while you're talking about this is the part of you being an agent for yourself. That's scary as shit. 22 years old, dude. I was so dumb. I was so dumb. I didn't,
Yeah.
I'm not that bright now, but I mean, at 22, like, just imagine. I mean, I do think it's interesting that you got stuck, like, you found something to hold on to, like slot value.
Yeah.
Like, know your worth. How many inspirational people nowadays tell you know your worth. Like, you actually lived it. You actually and whether it was good or bad or you could have got it better, it doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's part of your journey now. It's part of what you did. And, so what do you think when you look back on that day? You're like, oh, I should have done, I could have done.
I mean, I think that if I did have an agent, that I may have got more money. But I mean,
somebody negotiating, somebody that's been there, somebody that maybe knows one of these guys. They've done it, business with them before.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like, that was still one of the greatest days of my life. I mean, that dream I had when I was a little kid, growing up, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do. It finally happened.
How many people heard you say that? Like, okay, kid, you're never gonna be a professional baseball player.
Yeah. School teachers.
You'll be lucky to get to high school and play baseball.
Yeah.
Well, God damn it, the boy did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a good propeller for the rest of your life, man. Yeah. Right there, just at 22 to have accomplished something that so few people have or can do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do after that. At that point, it's like that's such a marker in your life to move you on to just be confident in like who you are and your decision making.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it kind of, I guess it didn't really sink in that it was happening until I got on that plane.
Yeah. What's that timeline like? Like, how fast do they get you out there? Like, how fast do they want to start talking to you?
So yeah, they gave me the call. They told me, they're like, all right, like we'll talk a little bit later. Like go celebrate with your family, whatever, blah blah blah. So talking to the agent or the scout a little bit later, he's like, all right. He's telling me like he's getting some basic information. He's like, all right, 3 days you're gonna be on a plane. 2 or 3 days you're gonna be on a plane to Arizona. So it was a quick turnaround.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, and I'm like, what? How much do I need to pack? Like,
A week or days?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, usually people pack for like 2 weeks and they're probably good. It's like, all right, I packed for like 2 weeks, so I was recycling my clothes.
Oh hell yeah!
I was out there.
No doubt.
I think I was out there for probably like 2 months, probably after I got drafted.
Okay.
Because you finished the rest of that season out there with them, and I came back, so I was recycling the same clothes over and over and over.
So, like, what was your first, you land in Arizona. They got somebody waiting there for you. You getting in a car and going to an address they give you. Man.
So, yeah, we got an email pretty much with all the information. They gave us, like, a lift code, so we wouldn't have to pay for our lifts. Yeah. Sent us the address of the hotel that we were going to be staying at. Go to the hotel, check in. Like, they have me listed. I was supposed to be with another guy that got drafted in the round before me, but I got there late. It's like a 3 or 4 hour flight from Chicago to Arizona. And the guy I'm supposed to be rooming with, he's already sleeping, and he's got the door locked, and he's got the bolt locked. So I'm up there scanning my key, and it's just going red. I go down, I'm like, oh, this key doesn't work. Go back up. Same thing. I'm like, oh, this key doesn't work either. Like, all right, we'll give you one more. Go back up. Key's still not working. I'm like,
God damn. Good start here.
I'm like, what's going on?
I'm nailing this.
So like, all right, well, we're going to put you in a different room. And I ended up getting my own room for the first 2 weeks, maybe I was there. I was like, shit, this is awesome, my own room, because everyone else was with a roommate. So I mean, having your own room is nice, but at the same time, it would also been nice to like get to know someone and have someone with you, because now this is
have a partner.
All random new guys. A lot of these guys are like SEC, Big Ten, like big schools, or like first round draft pick Drew Jones. I'm like, these like they're intimidating guys, I'm like, they're all talking about like, oh, I remember when we played you at this game. I'm like, little old me from the Ohio Valley Conference down here. I'm like, shit, like, yeah, we played these guys one time and got our ass kicked.
Had a little man syndrome almost. Like,
yeah. But yeah, it was nice. Seemed intimidating, but everyone's great guys.
So what kind of stuff did they have you doing like that couple of months? I mean, obviously you said you finished the season out, but like that was the first 2 weeks or whatever when you're staying in a hotel.
You get
what
there,
do they got you doing?
The next day, you're getting picked up. You're going to get physicals done. Taking you a doctor. You're getting X-rays, like MRIs.
They're just checking
bodies.
They're like, hey, dude, your back's fucked up.
Yeah, yeah. So stuff like that, like arm stuff, like all that type of stuff. Like very uncomfortable MRI position, like.
Really?
Arms sitting
just
like
making
back,
sure
like
those
this.
elbows ain't jacked up. And
I
this
mean,
dude ain't gonna be able to gun it.
Yeah, because a lot of baseball players, I guess, have like slight tears in like their UCL.
They just don't know.
And yeah, you just don't feel it. So just check in, make sure everything's looking good. So that's like the next day after you get drafted, or after you get there, your physicals, all that stuff. Later that day, they kind of bring you to the facility for the first time. So now you're kind of walking around, see some guys in rookie ball, and you're like, oh shit, see like a big leaguer rehabbing. It's like, oh shit,
check that out.
This is dope.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
This is life now.
Yeah, and so that's kind of how the first couple of days were, because we had to wait till like our physicals and everything went through before we could start doing anything there. So in the meantime, just kind of a lot of meetings, meeting people. I remember they had Randy Johnson come in and talk to like all the new draft guys. So he was like one of the first guys that talked to us, and I was like,
big unit, nice kickoff there, huh?
I was like,
was he doing his photography thing at the time? Did he come in there in like the vest? You know that's what he does now, right?
Yeah. I don't know if he was at that time. I'm pretty sure he probably was. But I never realized. I'm like looking at him. I'm like,
Holy shit.
This guy's
6'10".
fucking huge.
He's 6'10", right? He's a big dude.
Like almost 7 foot. I'm like,
That guy exploded a bird in spring training.
right.
Exploded a bird.
yeah.
Like,
I'm like, he's massive.
what more legendary can you be
Yeah.
than that guy?
Yeah. It was.
It's like, what kind of shit is Randy Johnson telling you guys?
Right.
I mean, what did he come to tell you?
I mean, he talked a lot, but he's like, everyone throws 95. Everyone can hit ball 400. Like, it's like the little things at this point that's going to make you kind of determine your own fate.
Advice.
Right? Like, the guys that can throw strikes with 95 are going to go farther than the guys that are throwing all over. Like, the guys that are more consistent at the plate, they're going to move a little bit quicker, or stay a little bit longer than the guys that can't. It's like, at that point, it's like, no one cares what school you came from. No one cares what round you got drafted. So they say.
Yeah, or so they say.
So they say no one cares what round you got drafted. It's like, you guys are all professional baseball players now. So it's like, all right, it's getting pretty
All
real
right,
now.
I can breathe now.
Yeah.
All right.
It's getting pretty real.
Giving me some good advice.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the guys like in your class almost like that early days?
Yeah. So obviously our first round pick that year was Drew Jones. I love Drew. He's my guy still. Great kid. Another guy from Texas, Ivan Melendez, the Hispanic Titanic,
the Hispanic. That's a great nickname.
Set the single season home run record that year with 33.
Damn.
Next year it got broken, but he set it that year.
It's modern baseball.
So that was a cool thing. So those are probably two big names from like our team that got drafted. We had a lot of other. Landon Sims, he was a Mississippi State guy.
Is Drew up with the team right now, or is
he's
Drew,
in low A still?
He's in low A still.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's only been 2 years. Oh.
Yeah, he had a really good year this year. So
yeah,
I'm kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised they didn't move him up yet, but I don't know. They got a way or whatever you want to call it.
They got a way of doing things.
To their madness,
they got a way
I
of
guess.
doing things. Okay.
But yeah, so fast forward a little bit, kind of it's like a training camp, kind of like just the draft guys. We're starting to work out, at least the guys that are medically cleared.
Okay.
So we kind of start getting used to like what a day in the life is. So kind of just take you through that. I think for us it was like wake up maybe like around 7. They take you to the facility. They got breakfast there. So you eat breakfast. All right, go change. Go to the locker room. Go change. Head to the weight room. You're going to do your warm-up. Or if it's a certain day, you're going to lift. After that, you're going to go cages. You'll do. To start, for us, it was all short. So kind of a build-up. Because at that point, some of us hadn't played for a month. Like those guys that went deep into the NCAA tournament, they didn't play any summer ball or anything. So it's been like a month, if not longer, for some of these guys. So kind of just a build up, like first day, nice and easy, just flips, toss, stuff like that, just some throw, maybe just a little defense, and
figure out the facilities where you're going, who you're dealing with.
Kind of just get a lay of the land.
Don't want to overwhelm you.
Yeah, exactly. Like don't want anyone sore. So that's pretty much like the first week, but it kind of moved pretty fast. We went from like flips to machine, like the next day.
Okay, progression
pretty quick, and so. Me and Ivan Melendez were the first ones to get cleared to play games. So,
oh wow,
me and him, first ones out there playing in these rookie ball games. I remember my first at bat, lefty. I'm like, I'm trying to do one thing and one thing only. I'm trying to hit a freaking home run.
You're trying to just hit bombs.
I'm just trying to hit an absolute nuke. First pitch, slider, swinging out of my shoes, swinging this. I'm like, all right, got to strap in here. I'm down 0-1. Last thing I want to do in my first at bat is strike out in front of. You got all these different guys watching you. So I'm like, shit, all right. I ended up hitting a ground ball to second base. I was like, oh fuck. It's all right. I didn't strike out, right? I didn't strike out.
Basically, same thing.
Yeah. So that was my first at bat in rookie ball. It was lefty. I was like, fuck. It's all right though. I remember Cole Tucker was playing second base that day. He was rehabbing down there. Kind of just a weird fact.
Whatever.
It's
Doesn't
kind of weird
matter.
because it's just
It's awesome.
like you just get random,
cool.
like
Yeah.
you get random big leaguers.
Yeah.
Like I remember Cole Tucker was there when we were all kind of
For sure.
progressing. At that time, I don't really remember anybody else, but yeah, he was like I was like, oh
The
shit,
boy's got to rehab somewhere.
Cole,
you know?
Cole Tucker, like that's kind of cool, and it's kind of weird because you see him in the cage and he's coming up to everyone like, hey, what's up? Like I'm Cole, like cool, super cool guy. It's like, oh, you wouldn't even think this guy's been in the big leagues for a couple years.
Yeah.
Before
I'm
that,
like, dude, you're awesome.
yeah. So first couple, I play 3 rookie ball games before I got sent out. First 2, not good. 0 for both. Last game, I think I was 2 for 3 with like a double and a triple. But I mean, me and Ivan were both kind of struggling. We're like, fuck, dude, this is gonna be long.
It's such a small picture,
Yeah.
small sample size. You know, it's like, but in your head, it's like the worst thing ever, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like it's hard to zoom out, step away, and be like, dude, it's just 3 games, you know, and one of them you banged.
Yeah, and it's like these guys, like everyone's like, yeah, listen, we don't care right now. Like we're just trying to get you ready, like
Yeah.
get a little feel for everything. So after that third game, it's late now. Like we get back, we were on the road. We went to the Giants complex, played over there. We get back, we get off the bus, and me and Ivan get called into the like I think it was like the field coordinator at that time. He called us into the office. We're like, oh shit, like, what's going on? It's like, all right, so you guys are going to Visalia in the morning, which is our low A.
Okay.
Visalia, California. Like, here's your plane tickets. It's like 10:30. Like your flight's at like 6.
Your travel buddies.
Yeah. I'm like, shit. He like that quick turnaround. But he's like, he's got his car out there. He's like, I don't want to leave my car here, so I'm gonna drive it. Like, would you want to go with me? Like, would you want to drive with me? I was like, shit, sure, that's fine with me. So we check with the coordinators and everything. They're like, yeah, you know, that's all right if you guys drive. Like, you guys just got to go together, stay at a hotel, whatever. Take your time. We'll reimburse you. Blah blah blah. And we did. It was 8-hour drive. Drove through the night. Left at like 10. Got there at whatever time the next day, 10 or 12.
Lord.
And we're in the starting lineup. For
Oh shit.
that next day, and like no sleep. Drank 3 Red Bulls.
Just
First day.
tweaking.
Getting there, it's like, oh, the manager at first he's like, all right, like if you guys are tired, like I'll give you the day off. He's like, so yeah, you guys can just chill.
We're
And
like,
we're
no.
we're like, all right, that's all right, because I don't want to. I'm like, I don't want to play right now, like dog tired like this. Like I don't want to my first game to be shit. And then he calls us in a little bit later. He's like, yeah, so sorry, but you guys have to play. Like for whatever
Kinda need
reason.
ya.
For whatever reason, they're like, yeah, you guys are playing. Like, we can't sit you or whatever it was. And we're like, oh, shit. All right, here it goes. First low A game. I believe we were playing Inland Empire, which is the Angels low A
Okay.
organization. First at bat, I'm pretty sure I got a base hit single through the
Like, dude.
through the 5-hole. It's like, let's go.
I'm like,
Pretty
I'm
awesome.
out here doing it.
Pretty
I'd
awesome.
almost ask for the day off.
Yeah. So that great feeling, obviously getting your first hit. I'm like, all right, this is all right. Like,
Yeah.
here we go. Feels good. I think that was the only hit I got that game. I did.
It's all
I had
right.
a really high fly ball though. That off the bat, I was like, oh shit, I just did it. First
Thought about
game,
pimping
first
it
home
for a
run.
second. You know?
For a second, I was like, do I pimp that?
Better run
I'm
my-
gonna jog a little bit here just in case, and
Run my ass off.
just a deep fly ball, and I was like, fuck.
I only got close.
Yeah, but after that, it was a struggle. I think I played maybe 30 games there. After that, I got drafted. Hit like 220 that year. I got maybe 100 at bats, like 22 hits. So I'm like, oh shit, that's not how I wanted to start my professional career really. But it's all right. I got one home run in there. It's like that last series. Got a home run in there. So
Oh
but
shit, yeah. You
it
take
was
it.
it was cool, like kind of getting the feel like you're home for a week, then you travel for a week, home for a week, travel for a week. For the most part, you'll get occasional 2-week road stands,
Mm-hmm.
occasional 2-week home stands, but it's pretty nice. Like we got it pretty nice with the CBA at that point.
I was gonna say,
They-
how do you, because you hear nightmare stories from, whatever,
Yeah.
80s, 90s 2000s.
So we got it.
Minor league baseball. Like, do you remember like what was the travel like? Like just crazy bus rides. Like,
So we actually got it pretty decent. Buses were nice. We had 2 buses, so everyone got pretty much their own row. Travel for us, I think in that league, the longest bus trip was maybe 6 hours. The apartment we stayed at though was not the best. I was staying with Ivan, kind of like the shitty.
Just 2 of you.
Just the
or
2
do you
of
have
us.
another roommate? No, just 2 of you.
Just the 2 of us. This little shitty apartment. Some roaches in there.
Nice.
There was when we first get in there, we're kind of looking around, found some dead roaches. There was some shit left in there from whoever was in there before, like didn't totally clean it. We're like, this kind of freaking sucks, but it's all right. It's like the next day we're out in the living room watching TV. He's like, dude, I swear I just felt something on my leg. He's like looking around. He doesn't see anything. I'm like, I don't see anything, dude. I think you're good. So a couple minutes go by. He flings this roach like off his shoulder.
Dude, stop.
He's like, dude, holy fuck. Like it's crawling on the ground. I'm like, dude, what the
Look how big it is.
I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
This is in Cali. This is in
This is in
California.
Cali, yeah.
What part of California is it? Like,
Visalia.
Where is that at? Like, what part?
We were
like
30 minutes south of Fresno.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like middle-ish of the state.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. Not
Somewhere in
really
that
too
ball.
familiar with.
Yeah, me neither. My geography's not so strong. Not so strong.
But yeah, so that apartment was not great.
No.
Some of the other guys that ended up coming up there, they got some nice like houses, like Airbnb houses.
What the hell? Why'd you guys get this?
I know. We're like, fuck. But it was
Slot
it was all right,
value,
though.
goddamn.
Yeah, right.
Slot value.
Right. But we were pretty close to the stadium, so it wasn't all that bad.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So that's basically year you get drafted. You're finishing out that time frame of like the kind of end of the year with them,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next year you're full blown minor league baseball player.
Yeah.
And you know, once you get going, how do they figure out like where you're starting this year?
So a lot of it is kind of based off how you did the year prior. That and spring training. Spring training has a lot to play into it. So yeah, just kind of that off season. I went home. We had a strength camp a couple weeks later. So kind of like I said earlier, I got home, gave myself like 2 weeks off, and then right back into the gym. I was hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was October. We went back to Arizona for like 2 weeks for a strength camp. I brought all my baseball. Like a lot of the new draft guys kind of brought all their baseball stuff, but they didn't let us do any hitting or anything. It was just like lifting and stuff like that, which it was fun. It was nice. Like you went there in the morning, you got your lifting, then you had the rest of the day to kind of explore Scottsdale at will, whatever you want to do. I think they took us to some cool stuff around. I know, kind of backtracking here, after we got drafted, they took us to a Diamondbacks game, brought us up into some suites, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, they took us just kind of like bowling, stuff like that. Some
Team bonding.
Yeah,
almost,
team bonding
right?
stuff. We went on a morning hike out there at some, I forget what mountain range thing, whatever you want to call it, was.
Take the boys fishing.
Should have.
Should have taken the boys fishing.
I wish. But yeah, I mean, it was nice. I love Scottsdale. Scottsdale was super,
crazy, right?
Super awesome place.
Rich spot too.
Yeah.
Pretty rich area.
Yeah.
The money's out there.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so after that, come home, working out, hitting. That's kind of when I fell into with my new hitting coach that I was using these past couple years, Tony Felino, who I'd work out with at the yard. Great guy, huge. I mean, I love him.
Yeah.
Really.
Shout out to
really
Tony.
Good. Yeah, shout out Tony. Really good hitting coach, a lot of advice. And so we're doing that. We're hitting off season, all that stuff. January, I end up going back out there. They have instructs, spring instructs, winter instructs, whatever it was. Same kind of thing. It's like a 3-week camp build up almost to spring training. So I was out there for those 3 weeks. Then you came home for 10 days, and then spring training. Back out there for spring training.
So you launched spring training kind of in a pool with the Diamondbacks, like with everyone.
Yeah, so it's
all around the organization, really.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, the facility's full. All locker rooms are all full, but you don't really work out much with the big leaguers because they have their own side. So they're kind of doing their own thing. But other than that, like AAA guys, AA guys, doesn't matter. Everyone's kind of working out together. At first, it's kind of just like work groups. So like they'll put like all the outfielders together, infielders, catchers, pitchers. Everyone's doing their own things. Like one group starts at lifting or warming up at this time. Another group starts at this time. Some people are in the cages. Some people are on this field doing defense. So all that stuff. Spring training is a crazy time. But
I could imagine.
It's kind of, you get to know a lot of different people, all from different levels. So you hear a lot of different stories, other people's stories, their experiences. Just get to know a lot of people. Then after maybe a week or so, they kind of put you into teams. Usually what we would do, the Diamondbacks, what they would do, they would kind of put you like a level above. Because to start, like a lot of the AAA guys will be in big league camp.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the guys that would start in AA that year would be on the AAA spring training team. A lot of the guys that will be in high A, the AA team, etc.
So, okay. Get them rubbing elbows or getting a taste of, what may come next for them.
Yeah, exactly. And just kind of give everyone an idea of who they're going to be with, kind of work with your coach who's going to be there for that year. And then kind of as spring training progresses, you'll get those AAA guys that were in the big league camp. They'll kind of start trickling down back into the regular camp and everything. Then towards the end of spring training, everyone's kind of on their actual teams. But so that first spring training was a good time. I got to play in a couple big league spring training games. So like
That's wild.
Yeah, they take a decent amount of minor leaguers actually during spring training to these big league games because the big leaguers are only playing to start
golf
5.
And shit.
They're only playing 5 innings. Like they watch them very closely, especially in the spring. Like
everybody's on a pitch count,
pitch count, inning count.
I say that for hitters and pitchers. Yeah. Everybody's on a count of some sort. That makes sense.
Yeah, so they watch everyone
it's a long season.
Very closely. So the big leaguers, they'll get their 3 at bats, their 5 innings, and then they're leaving. They're going back to the clubhouse. But I mean, it's cool being in like the dugout with these guys, like these big leaguers.
Who was the first dude you saw that you were like, whoa, that's kind of cool?
I think Ketel Marte.
Yeah, dude, what a stud.
Or Corbin Carroll too.
Well, nobody knew probably. At that time you saw the early glimpses of like, oh my God, this guy.
Yeah. Another guy for me was Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Dude, his hair alone would be worth seeing.
It's like you get in the dugout and you're like, this guy's a lot bigger than he looks like on TV, or this guy's a lot smaller than he looks like he is on TV. So it's kind of crazy, but they don't treat you any differently. Like all of them are saying what's up to you, like asking you how your experience is going, all that stuff. So like everyone's really cool with everybody.
Do you have to like balance for yourself, like how annoying do I want to be? How many, who am I going to, I want to pick your brain, but I also know that you're training right now too and getting yourself ready for the season. And I don't want to be like the little kid that's like, hey, what's a splitter look like coming out of, such and such?
No, definitely to start kind of just hanging around all the other minor league guys that are there to back up that day, to kind of staying to ourselves a little bit. Some of the guys that have been there a little bit longer, obviously, will talk. Some of the big leaguer guys a little bit more, but my first couple times I was definitely kind of staying back, just kind of letting them do them.
Back
like,
in the cut.
Can I get you a cup of water here, mister?
You look thirsty.
Mister, sir? You want
thirsty,
seeds?
sir?
You want gum? Like anything I can do for you? And just kind of staying out of their way, all that stuff. But then kind of as spring training progressed, it got a little bit better. I remember the first game I got in, we were at the Reds place, and Kyle Lewis came up to me, and he's like, man, you getting in today? I was like, shit, I don't know, probably not. I threw in 2 zins because this was maybe like my fifth game backing up. I hadn't gotten in at all anytime, so I'm like, all right, shit, I'm probably not going to get in. I throw in 2 zins.
Living the life is in.
Upper deckies, and I start feeling sick.
Oh, God.
My stomach feels like shit. I'm starting to get the cold sweats. Jeff Bannister comes up to me. He's like, hey, next inning, right
God
field.
damn.
I'm like, oh,
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm like, all right, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Whatever
And then
you
I'm
need.
like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, I feel like shit right now.
Ball's going to find me.
First inning, I get out there and defense ball finds me.
Of course it did.
A line shot. I caught it, made the play.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And then, so I mean, they don't really care about these spring training games, but at the same time, everyone likes to win. And I come up, my first at bat was bases loaded. I'm facing a lefty.
Oh, shit.
I don't really.
They let you face a lefty.
Yeah.
Bases loaded.
I
All
don't-
right. I like it.
I don't remember the score, but I go down 0-2. I think I come back a little bit, come back to 3-2, and I get drilled in the arm.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And I'm like, a win's a win. Jog down to first
Big
base,
leaguer, baby.
score a run. I'm like, let's go. Like, didn't strike out. That was
Hell
my
yeah.
big thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to strike out here. And
Productive at bat.
yeah, absolutely. And that was the first big league spring training game I got in, and I was ecstatic. I mean, I'm like, this is sick. Like,
That's super
bunch
cool.
of fans. Like, got to see Ellie De La Cruz play.
Oh, yeah.
Before
Yeah.
I think this was before he got his call up, and I'm like, you can get like 2 home runs. I'm like, this guy's freaking
This guy's
crazy.
pretty fast.
He's
Pretty
huge.
fast, too.
Yeah.
So then you get to progress through your first kind of full season. Did you jump right off of spring training into high A or to double A? I know
So-
you spent a lot of time that year in double A, right?
No, so
or-
this first full season, I start back in low A. So back in California, I spend maybe 30 games there, and then I get promoted to high A. I was doing pretty good in low A before that. I mean, not great, not as good as I wanted to do. I was hitting maybe 250, but a lot of walks. So got the promotion and go up there. Wasn't doing bad, but wasn't doing great. That first week, I didn't get a hit till the last game of the series, but no strikeouts. So putting the ball in play, ball's getting caught. So I'm like, all right, like not mad about it, like putting the ball in play, things will happen, stuff like that. Fast forward, I mean, didn't really ever get it clicking, I guess, up there. And I'd have like a really good week, and then I'd have a really poor week. Have a really good week, really poor, very up
to
and
get
down.
to feel the rhythm.
Yeah, very up and down that year. And then our All-Star break comes, the last game, second to last game before All-Star break. I end up straining my oblique, and I get sent back to Arizona during the All-Star break, and got a rehab there for a month. So doing all that, moving through my rehab, and come back with like maybe a month and a half left, and they send me back down to low A. At this point, the draft for the next year had already happened, so there's new guys that came in, and obviously they want these new guys to go and play, kind of getting left in the dust a little bit, and spots were taken, so I went back to low A, and even then I wasn't getting to playing. Before this, I was playing 5 games a week, 5 of the 6.
Oh damn! Yeah.
Now I come back, I'm playing 2 games a week, and I'm like, this sucks, but it's all right, I'm like, it's all a learning curve. Like, next year's going to be different. I'm going to just grind. Like, next year will be all right. So that was kind of the first full year of
Professional baseball.
Yeah.
So then you fly through another off season doing the whole thing. You come
Yeah.
back to another spring training, and
Yeah.
and then still some of those little experiences. Now at this point, you're playing for an affiliate of a team who went to the goddamn World Series, almost out of nowhere. I mean, not out of nowhere, but like, I don't think a lot of people pick them to be in the World Series. But,
Yeah.
So
But
what's that like coming out of spring training?
Well, you could definitely tell, like, spring training, like, the atmosphere was different. Like, a lot higher standards going around. Like, it's a winning culture now. Like, we want to get back to the World Series, and they kind of expect that out of everyone. Like, every affiliate, like, they want everybody to be ready. So we got a new farm director this year, though, and it's like, all right, kind of don't know what's going to happen, right? I start out spring training, I do really good. I'm backing up almost every big league game. getting a lot of playing time. My first big league backup game this year, I hit a home run to start the year. And I was like, let's freaking go. Like, Torey Lavello in the dugout. He's like, hell yeah, dude, face bumping me on my way back. I'm like, I come in the dugout. I was like, did I just do that?
That just happened right there.
It's like, all right, like, let's go. But, I mean, I didn't play a single backfield game this past spring training. I was with the big,
good feels.
It's like a big league invite without getting the big league invite because I was traveling with the team. I was pretty much every game with them. A lot of playing time, and I did good. Not a lot of strikeouts, hit some balls really hard, a lot of live IBs against some of these big leaguers, and I was hitting the ball really good, like all that type of stuff. But it's kind of funny. I was watching this video, and a guy, former professional athlete, he was talking about there's this thing they call the Grim Reaper, which is one of like a coordinator who kind of comes and finds people during spring training, and
tap you on the shoulder a little bit.
Tap you on the shoulder, and if he's coming to get you, that you're going to get cut. And so that, like, later in spring training, it starts happening. We see that guy, and one of my buddies like, oh, it's the Grim Reaper. I was like, what do you call him that? He's like, you'll find out.
You know why.
You'll find out. And then, I mean, sure enough, you see him, comes in, gets some guy, and you'll see him on the couch a little bit later. They're filling out information, getting ready to go back home. It's just like, oh, shit.
Fucking real.
Oh, shit. And so during this time, like, everyone has their own individual meetings with, like, the hitting coach, the farm director, like, the assistant farm director, all these different, you got, like, 5 guys in the room with you as you kind of go over your reports, all this stuff. And I am, like, one of the last 3 guys that gets picked to go in. So me and my buddy were like, shit. Dude, like, we're either going home or we don't, shit, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, so one of the last guys go in there, and they're talking, you had a good spring training. Just kind of looking more so on my last year numbers, where I'm like, all right, like, I see that, but, like, can't you see that I improved, like, all this stuff? Like, can't you see that I made the adjustments here in the spring training? And they're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They're like, all right, but you're going to start the year in Hillsboro, our high A affiliate again. It's like, okay, that's fine. So go back to the locker room. I'm showering. I come out. I'm going to get our lunch for the day. And I think it was the assistant farm director comes up to me. He's like, hey, did the farm director find you? I was like, no, I didn't see him. Why? He's like, oh, he needs to see you. I was like, oh, shit.
Like, damn it, I just had one of these fucking meetings.
I was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, gosh. So I'm sticking around for a while. Eventually I find him. He's like, all right, so here's what's going to go on. Alec Thomas up in the big leagues. He got hurt. So he's coming back down to rehab. Our guy up in AAA is going to go up to the big leagues to fill in for him. We're going to send you up to AAA, Reno.
Like, what?
And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Like, I'm like, let's go. Like, good thing I didn't send half my stuff on a bus to Hillsboro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. Like, awesome. Like, sick. And so, yeah, that first week of the season for me, I'm out in Reno, AAA, and I don't play at all. I got in one time.
Ran the aces, dude.
I ran the bases, scored a run. That was it for that whole week. And then end of the week, manager calls me in and is like, hey, you're going back down to Hillsboro. Like, okay, it's all right.
What the shit?
So I go back to Hillsboro. We're going to Canada that week. So we get there. I'm not playing. I'm not starting the first game. But one of our guys gets injured that was out there in the outfield playing. And I ended up playing the rest of the week because he had to go back to Arizona. Kind of the same story. I mean, it wasn't a great week. Didn't strike out a lot, but only 1 hit on the week. Kind of just hit some balls, not very hard. So weak contact stuff. And then that week goes by. The guy comes back. It wasn't a serious injury, so he's there the next week, back in Hillsboro. And again, he's playing again. So I'm kind of back riding the pine.
God damn it.
2 games go by. The manager calls me in. He's like, hey, you're going back to AAA.
What the fuck? Yo-yo.
I was like, shit. Like, all right, let's go. I'm like, do you know like how long I'm gonna be there or anything? He's like,
why would I know that?
he's like, they just told me that you're going there. I was like, all right. He's like, just call the farm director, like, ask him. I was like, all right, I'll do that. So after he tells me, I get on the phone, I'm calling him. I was like, hey, like I'm just kind of wondering how long I'm gonna be up there, like how much of my stuff should I bring? He's like, yeah, there's just like Alec Thomas is rehabbing. He should be back within like 2 weeks. The other guy that's going to be in AAA should be back in 2 weeks from rehab. And I was like, all right. So he's like, yeah, just pack for like 2 weeks. I was like, okay. I bring 3 bats, I think. I have some clothes, leave the rest of my stuff in Hillsboro. And I fly into Salt Lake City. They're in Salt Lake that week. First game I'm there, I don't think I play, but the next day I do. So first AAA at bat, facing what's his name? He was a lefty, pitching the big leagues for a while. I get a base hit though. I'm like, let's go. This is sick. Former big leaguer, like, what's up?
Got him.
I'm here. Base hit, first at bat, lefty, let's go. A really good first game. I got that base hit. I hit 2 other balls hard, over 100 miles per hour. Both of them were outs, but
isn't that the best?
Yeah.
Nice 100-mile-an-hour out.
I'm like, it's all right. Like, these guys are seeing, like, I can play now. So, I end up starting the next 3 games. I think I got another base hit the next game, and then I had an offer. Then we're heading back to Reno. I don't remember who we're playing. I think it's Sugar Land, which is the Astros. And I think this may be the week that I hit that inside the park home run. So I'm up there, and now I'm playing 3 or 4 games a week up in AAA. Doing really good, like 8-hole. I'm hitting right around 300.
You'll take it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm getting more playing time up here than I was down there. So like, I love, like, absolutely. And I'm with some guys that have been in the big leagues. Yeah. Like, there was a couple times I was out in the outfield looking around, and I'm like counting. I'm like 1, 2, 3. Like, so 6 out of the 9 guys on the field right now.
You have service time.
Were in the big leagues for a while. I'm like, it's kind of crazy. And I'm just out here right next to them, like lockers right next to mine, competing with them, like buddies with them now.
Feeling like I belong.
Yeah. But yeah, I was up there. He told me like 2 weeks. I was up there for a month and a half. And for that whole first month I was up there, I was hitting right around 300. A lot of extra base hits. Got that inside the park home run.
It was fucking hype, dude. It was
Yeah.
such a cool video they put up. All right, I just had to interrupt you with a quick little technical adjustment. So, yeah, you finished out that stint. It was a longer stint than you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you finished out hitting pretty well.
Yeah.
So then what they just say, you may already just touched on this, but like they said, yeah, you're going to go back to A now.
Well, yeah, so there was that first month I was up there, I was really good, like right around 300, playing really good. The last 2 weeks I was up there, I kind of started to dip down a little bit, struggle. And then, yeah, after that 2 weeks, bad 2 weeks, last week was in Oklahoma City against the Dodgers. After that, they're like, yeah, you're going to go back to Hillsboro.
Before we go back to Hillsboro, let's just put me in your shoes for a minute of that game. I think you said it was Sugar Land, right?
Yeah.
And the Reno Aces put up a great video of it. Like, it was more of a social media perspective version of it on like Instagram or something. And I saw it and showed it to like my kid and everybody, everybody on the Dynasty team. They're like, holy shit. Like these kids were 11. They're just like, whoa, that's the guy that helped us learn how to hit last year. But I've seen it like in the actual MILB, footage where it's like game footage. Right. And then I've seen it through that social media. It's so cool the way they did it. Like, how are you feeling? Like, when did you know that you may go 4?
Kind of as soon as you see that ball ricochet off the wall.
Because you're lefty, you kind of hit it off into left center, right?
So yeah,
was it dead or left center?
Yeah, it was left center-ish. I kind of hit it. I was like, that might have a chance to go out, but wasn't fully sure. So I was kind of like a slight jog runish to first base, And I kind of start picking up speed as I see the center fielder kind of tracking a little bit. And as soon as I see him jump at the wall and that ball ricochet, I just start running. I'm like, I can do this. Like, I know it.
Electric, dude.
And yeah, I see third base coach waving me around. I almost wipe out. You can see it in the video. I almost
I'll
eat
have to
it
go back
coming
and watch
around.
again. I don't think I caught that.
Coming around third, I almost eat it.
Okay.
And yeah,
Dude, electric.
yeah, it was
The slide, the fucking get up from the slide, the sheer like unadulterated joy.
Oh,
you
yeah.
were jumping in the air,
yeah,
you know.
it was a great,
And then they got you in the dugout too, like
Yes.
they just
yeah. I
It's
was
like so sick.
oh, dude, I was feeling it.
Like I'm the greatest player that ever lived.
I was feeling it. And the rest of that game was great. I think I went 3 for 4, a triple. I had that inside the park home run, a walk, and then my last at bat, I would have had a double. It was a shot, like 104 down the third base line. Third baseman dove and caught it. I was like,
What an asshole.
"Are you kidding
Tip
me,
the cap.
dude?" Yeah.
Tip the cap to him. Like, ugh.
Literally, I kind of like walked back to the dugout laughing. I was like, well, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I think that's kind of when people around me too, like in the AAA clubhouse,
like, oh shit, like,
around
this
the organization, were kind of,
he ain't scared.
they were like, all right, this kid can play. And like throughout that time I was there, like a lot of these guys were talking to me, like these former big league guys are like, oh yeah, dude, like you're gonna, like after this they're gonna definitely send you at least to AA, like if not keep you here, like
you proved yourself,
like
kinda,
you've proved
like,
yourself, like you're gonna be probably around here, definitely, if not AA for sure. And then yeah, that time came and they're like, yeah, you're going back to high A. I was like,
Is that deflating or is that
absolutely. It's like I kind of like I got used to the AAA lifestyle for one, like flying everywhere.
It's a little better, right?
People packing your bags, like a lot better. And then I was also like, I'm like, all right, like I'm playing really good. Like they're probably gonna like at least send me to AA, like, and let me play there, because obviously I can play up here with these guys. So like, there's no way they send me back down to Hillsboro.
But does it become a numbers game at that point? Like it's like, sure, you could, but we have
Yeah.
a center fielder there, or we
Yeah.
have like, you know, your position is covered.
Exactly.
What you can do for us there is covered, kind of.
That's exactly pretty much what it was. Like because you got a certain amount of roster spots. The AA roster was already filled. They had their outfield, and they like those guys. Like they want those guys to get the playing time. So back to high A I go. Start the first game back there. Wasn't a good one. 0 for 4, like 3 Ks, something like that. Not a good start back.
Oof.
I mean, I came back. I was like, all right, like this is gonna be easy. High A pitching again. Like
Yeah,
I was
this
just
is
up there.
nothing.
I was just up there, like playing with some big dogs and holding my own, like smashing. So like this is gonna be easy. First game back, not a good game. I was like, all right, whatever. Like move on from it. And then next game's canceled. So then end of the week, we're going on a road trip. First game of the road trip, same thing. 0 for a couple strikeouts, and then after that, sit for the next 5 days.
Oh shit!
And I was like, oof, like okay,
Not the comeback you were expecting.
yeah. And after that, that was kind of the theme. I'd play one game like on a Monday or Tuesday, and then I'd play again on a Saturday or Sunday. Play 2 games a week, and I'm just like this, like what, like you're telling me there's no one, like no other guys that I could deserve to play over right now, and it just kind of sucked like the life out of me, I guess. Like I went back down there, and I just kind of stopped enjoying playing. I mean, I wouldn't say playing, but like going to the yard, like it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't
take the
happy.
passion off you a little
Yeah,
bit.
like usually I'd wake up, like I'm like, all right, let's get to the field, like playing today, whatever, and then I was like, gotta get to the field.
Just took a little juice out of it.
Yeah, definitely sucked some life out of me. And a couple weeks go by down in high A. I'm still not hitting great. Still playing like one every 3-4 days. And the manager pulls me into his office. And I'm like, oh shit, the way I've been
It
playing,
always goes, oh shit.
the way I've been playing, I'm like, I'm about to get a flight home, and that's what I thought it was. And he's like, so you're going back to AAA? I was like,
Jesus Christ.
huh? I was like, what? And same thing. Got on a plane the next day, flew out to Salt Lake City, and first game there, I hit. I don't remember if I got a hit or not, but I had a couple rocket line drives, and I was like,
Just like seeing the ball well, hit hard contact.
yeah,
like,
some hard contact. I'm like, all right, feeling good again. But that last time back up in AAA, I think I played maybe 3 games, and like a week and a half I was there. After a week, they put me on the developmental list, which is just because the guy that I went up for that got hurt, he came off, but they kind of, I guess, didn't really know where to send me or something, so they kind of wanted me to just stay up there and work with the coaches up there, keep practicing up there. So I stayed up there till the end of the week. The end of the week came. The manager's like, yeah, so you're going to go back to Hillsborough. But he's like, you're going to come off the dev list when you go to Hillsborough. So you'll be active down there. And when I went back down, I was supposed to play that first game. But then, like, halfway through the day before the game, practicing, all that stuff, and sent out a new lineup, and I got scratched off. I was like, I don't know what this is about. And they called me in. They're like, yeah, so you're still dev listed, whatever. I was like, oh, okay. And I don't even remember. I stayed on the dev list for another maybe a week or so. And after that, it's kind of the same thing as before, playing 1-2 games a week. Coaches kind of started working with me, trying to change my swing a little bit. I wasn't really buying in because I was like, I had this success before up in this level. Like, I don't think I need a change. And the philosophies we had, I guess, were kind of just a little different. And then, yeah, not long after that is when I got told I was getting released. The last game I played there I had like 2 base hits, another line shot. Like, I was like, all right, I'm starting to get my rhythm back. And then, yeah, a couple of days later, called into the office, and everyone's kind of looking at me like, oh, no way you're going back to AAA. And deep in my mind, I just knew that this time was, for whatever reason, I just knew that.
How the fuck do you do that? How do you go from AAA for a good chunk of the season to just straight up released?
Yeah, I mean, it's a business there, you know. It's a numbers game. Another draft's coming up. I guess I didn't do enough.
Did you feel like you had like attitude issues, or like coaches didn't like you, or
No,
like
I mean,
issues with trainer, anything?
No,
like
I got along with
like,
everyone.
that's weird.
I got along with everyone. Like the coach, even like he wanted me to try this new thing with my swing. I didn't really want to, but I did. I went along with it. And yeah, it's a numbers game. There's a new draft coming up, so there's 20 new guys coming in, 20 guys that got to go out.
So you're probably not alone, and some of those other guys in the locker room might be going through exactly what you're going through basically right now.
And it happens all levels, but I mean, you just, I guess, never really expect it to happen to you. But for whatever reason, when he called me into his office, I was like, this is it. Like,
felt it.
I just knew that it was going to happen.
So what's the reaction there? I mean, take us into the Hard Knocks version. It's like you just have the cut room tape. Like, who's in there? Is it like scouts, GMs, coaches of the team? Like,
it's our manager, our bench coach, and our hitting coach. They're in there. He's like, calls me and he's like, this is the hardest part about being a manager. And at that point, I'm like,
it's not that hard for you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I knew it was coming, but still, heart sank. And I was like, I know where this is going. He's like,
Shit.
yeah, like, unfortunately, I got word. You're getting released, but like, all my coaches there, like, if you need anything, reach out. Please feel free. They're like, don't give up. Like, you're too good of a ball player to give up now. Like, keep going. Like, just keep going. But I mean, that's another, going back to not having an agent. I mean, at that point, I have
Who's making those calls to?
I have no one to reach
pitch
out
you
to.
to you know, the Reds or the, whoever might need a center
exactly.
fielder in their organization.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm sure, especially right then, like after coming from AAA and playing in front of some of these other teams, and they saw
Some
me.
people saw you, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I probably definitely could have got picked up.
I just keep sending out that video of you hitting it inside the park home run.
Yeah, but it sucked. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen, but it's like,
So your first reaction, what is your first shown physical reaction? Like, what did the manager and the hitting coach and them see? Did they see slump, this shock, or did they see were you just kind of like, this is the business and shake hands and I'm walking out. What do I do next?
I think I almost smirked, honestly, kind of just like this is
happening.
Like, yeah, it's happening, and it's like what more do I need to do to prove that I should get a spot in this organization? But I took it, like a professional, thanked everyone, shook their hands, very professional about it, hugged all my guys in the locker room, like, keep going, best of luck to you in your career, all that. So my girlfriend was actually out with me in Hillsborough at that time, and I get home, me and my roommate, and put my stuff down and look at her. I'm like, hey, are you up for a road trip? She goes, no way they're sending you back to AAA. I was like, no, actually, we're going home.
Like, oof.
And
she was probably like, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And the AC in my car just went out a couple days prior.
Damn it. Just windows down.
And windows down for 30 hours. And she's like, yeah, I guess. I think she definitely regrets that.
Like, oof.
It was a hot drive.
Yeah,
it was a hot drive.
Never again.
No, yeah, never again.
Your relationship must be really strong right now.
Yeah. Yeah, she told me
you
we
can
got
make
back.
it through that.
She's like, I was honestly debating on having you take me to the nearest airport. And drop me off.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I got home, I called my dad when I got home, or got home after they told me, and he was just kind of like shocked by it too.
What?
But everyone's like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm like it's okay, dude.
Professional.
I gave it my best shot. Didn't work out. I don't regret anything about it. I left everything I had on the table. So.
Not one of those God, I would have changed a lot of things or something.
No, yeah, if I had to go back and do it again, I'd do it all the same. Nothing I would change.
It's pretty sick to be able to say that.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, left it all out there.
I know it's cliche to say, but it's nice if you can actually feel that way,
right?
And say it and feel it internally. It's like, man, I don't know what better way you can end something like that.
Right.
It's not like you wanted it to be over.
No, yeah.
It's just like, so is it done? are you done? Like, what's you still have a little in the back of your head? Like maybe. Maybe.
I know I could still play, but at the same time, I'm kind of just done with the traveling. I'm ready to stay close to home, kind of get my life started. I got a puppy now.
Dude.
Yeah.
Got a girlfriend, puppy.
Got a girlfriend, got a puppy.
24 now?
24,
man. Shit. Nothing but time, baby.
Yeah. But another thing is just how hard it's going to be. I'd have to probably go get an agent to try to reach out to these teams to try to get an invite to spring training.
Brutal sport.
It is.
It's a brutal system, the way it works.
And it's a business. Especially the CBA, you only got a certain amount of roster spots.
There's time and money, and
it becomes a numbers game.
That's it, right? It's a numbers game, and as like we talk about baseballs being the hard, hitting a baseball being the hardest thing. It's like, it's also a really tough sport to evaluate.
Yeah.
It's really a tough sport to see the talent and see, who would have thought Jose Altuve would be the player that he is today?
Right.
I guarantee you there wasn't a whole lot of scouts out there that were like, that guy's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. It's like, it's an impossible sport to evaluate, and I would never say like it comes down to luck. It's like that work ethic and having that. But it is a lucky, when you do hit a 107-mile-an-hour line drive right at the shortstop into the glove, it's like I did everything right.
Mm-hmm.
I did everything right.
Yeah.
And I got nothing for it.
Yeah. And like I hate to say this, but unfortunately, a lot of it I feel like does have to do with the money you get when you're drafted. One of my roommates, he's like, I firmly believe from the moment you get drafted, you're labeled as a big leaguer or not a big leaguer. And the guys that they label big leaguers, they'll push through the system, whether they're struggling or not.
Politics never ends.
Exactly.
In sports and baseball. And
yeah. Like, I mean, who knows? But had I gotten more money, like if they invested a little bit more into me,
they're kind of almost forcing their hand because there's pride involved, there's finance involved, there's like I'm not going to be the scout that was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I made them pay him $150,000, for a signing bonus.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I hate to say that about it, but it's a business.
There's some
like
truth.
You're an investment at that point. So
big time.
Yeah.
So now what? Now what's short-term plans? What's our focus now? Because this all happened pretty recently. And I felt bad. I ran into you that night while you were having dinner, and I'm like, I don't want to bother him. You look like you were with, I don't know, family or.
So that night I was actually I was meeting a guy that had done medical sales, which is what I'm trying to get into, and it's actually one of my friends, her dad knew this guy that had done like the medical sales, and he's got his own business now doing fire sprinkler stuff. He's like, yeah, I can get you like to meet this guy, like you ask him some questions, whatever. So I was actually out there
starting to figure out what you want to do,
meeting him, and talking to him a little bit, and he's like, yeah, I can help you out, give me your resume, and so that's kind of what I've been doing lately. I think this past Monday, Tuesday, I filled out 20 different applications on LinkedIn.
That's old school, dude. Filling out apps.
Oh, yeah. Already
raising a puppy.
Seen 3 or 4 rejections already, but I got an interview coming up. Got an interview coming up on Monday to do some, it's like a wellness representative sales for a chiropractic company. So I'm excited about that.
In that vein right there.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's, at the least, it's a stepping stone. Like, if I don't love it, it's a good.
It's a learning thing too.
Another good thing because all my resume is right now is baseball.
Yeah, and you meet people too.
Exactly,
and that's the thing is like you meet people. You have no idea where it's going to take you.
Right.
Like I never intended to. I work for the hospital system, and I guess I won't even say the name of it, but I work for a fairly large hospital system, and it's like. I never thought I would work for a hospital system in any form for any reason, that was never a goal of mine, but I enjoy what I'm doing and I meet great people from it. It's like, and I got that job because of random shit that's happened to me in the past where I happen to meet this person and they happen to have this thing for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just don't know where it's going to take you and what you're going to do. I worked in the craft beer industry for four years out of nowhere as a grown man with 2 children, you know, like, I quit my day-to-day 401k, job to go work in craft beer, like a young man's game, for 4 years. And then I came back to like corporate America. You know, it's like, you don't know where the journey's going to take you. So fucking take chances, network, meet people, go fishing.
Yeah. Go fishing. Absolutely.
Go do some fucking fishing, man.
Clears the mind every time, whether you catch anything or not.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, and according to my ticking time bomb over here, we still have about like 7 minutes. So maybe that's how we finish, right? So that's what you've been doing. You've been hitting some fishing with some local spots around here. Pulling nothing out the last few days apparently.
A lot of weeds. A lot of weeds.
What are you like bass fishing, like shoreline? Or are you getting in a boat? What's your method?
Hopefully soon. My dad's getting boat work done right now, but so today
my
I was
dad's
out.
A boat guy. He's got the club membership, South Wilmington Fireman's Club.
Okay,
just go hitting that shoreline.
Yeah,
my wife's family's got a place up in Mosney, Wisconsin. We go up there, and that's beautiful. Just on the Wisconsin River, pulling out walleye and shit. Fun.
Oh yeah,
fun.
Yeah, today we were out at Heideke. Me and my buddy.
I love Heideke.
Right now, there's just so many shad are filled on the shoreline, so it's like good luck catching anything.
No fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
But yeah, I'd say probably around here, my favorite fishing is smallmouth fishing.
Yeah,
but,
smallmouth. That's I'm not a huge fisherman, but like my dad is a massive
Yeah.
loves fishing. So his brother lived up in Minocqua for the last like 10 years, and they actually just sold the place. But that was every year going up there. Them beds would spawn and the smallmouths just getting down, dude.
Yeah.
Just pulling them right off those beds.
That's one thing I'm excited for. Coming next spring is the spawn around here, fishing some of the. I mean, my dad, my brother were out this year. They were pulling out some nice walleye out of the Kank. He was showing me pictures. I was just like, man, you can't do this to me right now.
I'm going through some shit right now, boys.
I want to be there. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, muskie fishing is one of my tops too. Last year I took a trip down to Shelbyville.
I've never caught one. What is it like?
It's crazy.
My dad got a 42-inch a few years back. He's got a picture of him still hanging in a bait shop like by where it happened.
I got a 42-incher last year,
yeah.
And I got a replica of it hanging in our garage.
It's a big dog, dude.
Yeah,
big old suckers.
Yeah, so it was the first time I had ever caught one.
You were fishing for them specifically when you caught them?
Yeah, and
his was an accident.
I mean, that big one was definitely an accident, and I caught a couple smaller ones before that. The bigger one was definitely how did that happen?
Like, damn.
But that, like, you see those figure eights and you see the muskie come and follow, and your heart just gets racing. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, holy shit.
Maybe this is your line of work. That's what you should be looking into. Maybe
some major league fishing.
I don't know if it's that or maybe you're doing some sales of fishing equipment. I don't know. Maybe what's that look like?
Yeah. I could look into that one for sure.
So I mean, we'll round it out with this. Like, what would it take for you to be like, all right, I'm gonna restart this. I'm gonna re-pursue this thing. You know, a lot of things would have to go.
Yeah.
Pretty committed to being out of the pool.
I mean, yeah, they'd have to.
Can't wait to have the follow-up podcast. You're like 3 years into your major league career, and you're like,
they'd have to give me a decent chunk of change to probably get me back in. I mean, I still have love for the game, yeah, but it's just, I think it's my time to move on. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna still probably stay in the game, help coach and stuff like that, but my time playing the game, I think it's done. It's
usually a tough one for people to accept.
Yeah.
You're accepting it easier than most people. that I would, at least I would think. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard being away from family. I mean, my parents are a little bit older, so they got to see me.
And you like them.
Yeah. I love them. They only got to see me play one time throughout my professional career. Thankfully, they came out to Vegas, and I had a great game that day. They saw me, so
that's so
I'm
sick.
Grateful that they got to see me do that at least one time play, but it's tough. I mean, I was out on the West Coast, so 20 plus hours away.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's tough. Not just a quick little ride over.
No shit. Well, it looks like the greater Joliet and Shorewood area is going to be better off in their youth league baseball coaching at least. So we'll take that as a win.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for agreeing to be on and hanging out. But I mean, is there anything you want to leave anybody with before we cut it off? I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of the conversation. I think a lot of people will. I mean, get people to listen and kind of just, first of all, just the voyeurism of like, what is it like to be in a professional organization? You know, people love baseball. I mean, they don't understand like what minor league baseball is.
Right.
You look at the majors and you're like, oh, it's all flash and it's fucking grind.
They definitely don't see the grunt work that goes into it.
Yeah, the grind, the cages.
Yeah, you learn to love the grind. Any sport you play, love the grind, love the game. Just give it your all. For any kids watching out there, that'd be my advice to you.
Well, you're not getting there if you don't.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? There's no replacement for hard work.
Yeah.
I think is probably a good way to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, dude, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. I mean, we're damn near 3 hours into it, so I'll let you get back to your life.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.